97.3. Accra.
There can be no other 97.3. No need to change. Keep it tuned to Citi. You're number one. Don't look no further. We've got it all covered. Citi FM.
The Citi Breakfast Show.
.6:32 on the Citi Breakfast Show. Welcome to Monday morning. Welcome to 97.3 Citi FM. Welcome to the 9th of March. Jude Lumote with an oldie but goodie. Moko Moko Be Tomobo. Moko Moko Be Shikpon Shishin. Your name is Yehovah Zebaoth. This is our Heritage Month, and we're so excited you've joined us. We've done a week and a day. Yesterday, the 4-bus, almost 12-vehicle Heritage Caravan that set off on the 1st of March returned in glory to Tesano with great stories. So there's a lot to talk about this morning on the Citi Breakfast Show. And in the spirit of the Ga language, I'm pivoting to my favorite artist for the period. It's called Perez Music. He called this one Hiwale Lala.
Come on.
Mawo boy wale mawo no. E fonko bogbeno. Enyela yito ike pamo. E kokuranya bano. Mawo boy wale mawo no e. E fonko bogbeno. Enyela yito ike pamo e. E kokuranya bano. Ma wachepo. Dio shele fenshona shia. Ma wachepo. Ma ho shele fenshona shia. Enyela yito ike pamo e. Eko kuranya bano. Enyela yito ike pamo e. Eko kuranya bano. Come on.
The City Breakfast Show.
And this is to Ghana at 69. Mawo bohe wale mawo no. Efonko beno. Oh my God. I will strengthen you and uphold you. There will no evil befall thee. The bad thoughts and the evil plans of men shall not succeed. And I will multiply you and you shall not be few. It's called the Song of Strength. And I wish this to Ghana at 69. A nation ahead with the plans of God for it. Be strong in the words of the song. Do not fret because of evildoers, nor be envious of the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb tree. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and feed on his faithfulness. Perez Music, delighting us with business sense, brought to you by APSA. We all start a new year with good intentions, so many plans and resolutions. This year, APSA is giving you the chance to actually make them count. With APSA Target Save, you can plan towards specific goals, earn interest on your savings, and get insurance cover to help protect what you are working towards. Is it a wedding or that long-awaited vacation trip? Whatever the goal, APSA will help you make it happen. Open an APSA Target Save account today. Your story matters, APSA. Newspaper review is where we start off from, brought to you by Fidelity Bank. Switch to us and enjoy amazing benefits, lower interest rates, higher loan amounts, personalized financial support, and a smile that lasts. It's time to switch and smile wider with Fidelity Bank. To learn more, call 0800 003 355. We are also on social media at Fidelity Bank GH. Two pieces of traffic news for the morning. Fiesta Royal traffic light is on amber for all sides, and it's potentially going to lead to chaos. So I'm urging the MTTD to go and support Fiesta Royal traffic light. That's the Jowulu Junction. It has amber on all 8 sides, so that's a recipe for chaos. There's also a new traffic management arrangement as part of the construction of the Accra Motorway Extension Project Phase 2. And those who are coming in from Accra Mall into Medina, or even wanting to go onto the N1, there's a slight diversion onto another lane. And from what I've seen this morning, we'll need some police to help when the rush hour gets thick around 7 o'clock. For now, people are managing it well. So those are 2 traffic points. We need the white top wearing police. Yes, not the ones who hide in corners holding kafugbe and asking you for driver's license. Not those ones. The black ones who do that. Not that those ones. This one, we want the white ones. Those who are wearing white. They should go and help manage, because I can see how, you know, what they've done is that the overhead is being sort of redone on the motorway side. So they've moved traffic to the 3rd side, right? So if you are going towards Shiashi, coming from normal Accra, you sort of divert to you have people coming crossing your lane. It's going to be a bit tough. So we're just asking the police to go and make things clear this morning.
And that stretch already gives problems.
Oh yes, already.
On
yes,
normal
yes,
day.
yes. So
how does it impact those who are coming from Medina into Accra? But,
so they've also sort of
like
been.
Fred is coming from.
They've been. Okay, so it's a dual carriage, 3 lanes going, 3 lanes coming. So they've sort of been given 2 lanes, and then that's what I saw this morning. And then those who are coming from Accra have sort of been shifted, but it's just for like 50 meters. The whole thing is a very short thing. There shouldn't be a problem.
50 meters in Accra can let you be in traffic for 3 hours.
The main problem.
Different.
The main problem I foresee is the runabout at the Accra Mall, which was poorly designed, which has been changed. Yes, that runabout. So those who are coming from Action Chapel may be in a bit of trouble, because those who are also coming from Shiashi, those who are coming from La Paz, who want to come into the mall area, will be squeezed in that roundabout, because there's a small joint that they will have to go through some bottleneck.
Let me ask you something. If we hadn't turned that area into a trotro station and a market, do you think a situation like this would have been easier to navigate?
I think the problem was the design of the runabout. I think the original design should have been a higher interchange. That runabout at the Accra Mall, for to all intents and purposes, was poorly designed. That's one. Then the second problem is when you are going to Shiashi itself. Those who go towards Ghana Standards Authority are okay. Those who turn right onto the boundary road, we haven't created a bus stop for them. So if somebody, for example, is in a trotro and they will get down at Shiashi, if they are going straight, there's a main bus stop. But if they are turning right, going towards Cedar Mountain Church or going towards Boundary Road, there is no real junction. So the cars stop on the road. You get it? And then a lot of people stop there because there's like a main connection to many places. So if they can design a bus stop for those who are on the Boundary Road for that side, somebody has created a carport there. In that area, commercial interest override everything.
Yeah, there's no sense in that area.
So if they can construct a bus stop for those going towards Boundary Road, East Legon, and then they can redesign the runabout at Accra Mall and make it either smaller, so there'll be more space for vehicles to move. I think we'll have a good day.
Well, I am with you. I hope to see more of the white ones.
But the motorway project
the traffic lights are also a problem in most parts of the city right now. Over the weekend, I was coming from somewhere and I got to Sacramento, and there's a woman who sells plantain chips who had decided to take it upon herself to direct that, and that's a major traffic light, because that's those coming from Kaswa headed to Kanishi, and those who are breaking off to enter Dansuman. That's the main Dansuman road. That's the main, and she was the one directing traffic.
But we saw some good.
It would be chaos.
We saw some good work on the road that leads from N1 into. We had complained about some work that needs to be done, and some of that was done. So thank you, Godfred. Samuel, welcome, Samuel Akom.
Thank you.
Let's start with the Ghanaian Times.
Let's start with the Ghanaian Times this morning. And Okujetua Black, Foreign Affairs Minister, is here. He says Ghana demands a probe into Lebanon attack as 4 peacekeepers injured in missile strike. And the president also has a message for Ghanaians. He says Ghana's progress depends on all of us, coming in from President John Dramani Mahama. Now, investing in women, key to national progress, also coming in from the First Lady. And that story will be found on page 13 of the Ghanaian Times.
Okay.
And then page 7, Ghana's tax system from a gender lens.
Okay.
Front page of the Daily Guide this morning. Fraud boy pleads guilty to $10 million romance scam in U.S., and there's a story of Derek Vanier. I'll give you details. Women's leadership strengthens national development. That's coming from the vice president. The attack on Ghana's base in Lebanon also makes it to the front page of the paper. Kuchapon comments on the front page. Citizens judge cost of living, not inflation.
Let me take you to the Chronicle this morning, and the traffic situation we were talking about a moment ago. The Chronicle says new traffic management at the Tekwashi. That will be found in a newspaper. You can get that to know the new traffic management. And then Russia, Ukraine, and US-Iran wars. President Mahama trapped by his own words. Now, AU appoint Ghanaian businessman as ambassador for Agenda 2063. And they also have family of Sami Jemfi's in-law grateful to sympathizers. They also have NPP USA branch elections. Janice Asari Bediakon poised to lead as chairman. That we found on page 12 of the Chronicle.
I take you to the front page of the Herald newspaper this morning. A table land dispute linked to Queen Mother's brutal death. Sierra Japan distances his 40 companies from Cocoa Board's $48 million questionable Jute sack deal. Wounded Ghanaian peacekeepers undergo medical treatment after Israeli missile attack.
On the front page of the Ghanaian publisher this morning, Minority seeks answers on sinking fund. That story be found on page 2. Just-Born CEO demands Ghana Web retraction, and President Mahama reimposes travel ban after SOE defiance, and the farmer's haircut and Nanado's stone.
All right.
Front page of the Inquisitor this morning, and they go back to a case from 2019. Nana Ayu's case still hanging. Ghana is bigger than all of us. This is coming from President Mahama, and Chief of Staff leads the way in the Independence Day run.
Okay.
It appears that the papers are capturing this story. Mahama double speaks on impact of external shocks on Ghana. And that is the custodian, and Minority calls for job creation as Ghana marks 69 years of independence. Now, traders, barbers, hairdressers cry over high light bills and Usain Bolt meters. That's how they've captured the Usain Bolt meters. And then President to visit South Korea to boost bilateral ties.
The News Center also talks about the vanishing electricity credit that hits small businesses hard. Don't let politics break lifelong relationships. That's the Chief of Staff. Government's U-turn on nursing admissions imposes quotas up to 72% despite pledge to scrap intake limits.
The Ghanaian Point this morning, injured Ghanaian peacekeeper undergoes surgery after missile strike on UN base in Lebanon. That is coming in from the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General William Ejapong. And then retract and apologize over Cocoa Board story or face lawsuit. That is coming in from Just-Born CEO, warning Ghana Web. Now, the Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, says hotels, guest houses in Kwewu fully booked ahead of 2026 Kwewu Business Forum.
All right.
President Mahama begins 4-day working visit to South Korea to deepen bilateral ties. They have that story as well. Now, the Vice President says empowering women a strategic investment.
Okay.
Front page of the New Publisher also goes with the high electricity bills killing businesses. Dondo! MP for Old Tafo grabs sweet wife. That's on the front page of the paper. It's not me. I'm just telling you what is there. Speaker, MPs reject riding bicycles to Parliament. And there's a photo of John Dumelo, MP for Iowa West Wagon, riding a bicycle, confess how they weep in silence over no cash.
Daily Democrat this morning, Kibi Goldfields accused of neglecting development obligations. And you also have the story, Do Your Part for Ghana, coming in from President John Dramani Mahama, urging Ghanaians. And also they have the story where President Mahama begins, they say 5-day working visit to Korea. Yeah. Some other papers have said 4 days. This is saying 5 days.
Giving you the daily graphic now, condemn attacks on UN peacekeepers, Foreign Minister presses Commonwealth. Also, First Lady urges action to advance gender equality. That story is doing well everywhere else. Maternal vaccines rollout feasible. This is on page 16. And 24-hour economy outfit signals takeoff energy deal. 2,000 megawatts to drive industrialization. That's also on the front page of the day graphic. If you go to citynewsroom.com, Clocksack begins indefinite nationwide strike today.
Yay.
And then IMF says Middle East tensions could disrupt trade and spike energy prices. Meanwhile, after 8 days on the road, 2026 Heritage Caravan returns to Accra. Other headlines, Ghana urges Commonwealth to condemn attack. I read this already. Scrap tariffs, trade barriers among member states. Ghana to the Commonwealth. The Citi, Channel 1 News Online also talks about the Heritage Caravan return and the Clocksack strike. And then there's a story here about Ashanti women redefining men's work from workshops to service stations. A very good human interest story there. Meanwhile, 2 dead, 1 injured in motorbike crash at Asin Fosu. And then International Women's Day, empower women to strengthen national development. Lordina Mahama. I'll give you just 3 oil-related stories. The High Street Journal leads with crude oil hits $107. Will government step in or let markets rule? Now, the BBC's angle to this is that oil prices surpass $100 a barrel for the first time since 2022, as Khamenei's son named new Iranian leader. Now, that's a big one. But the Bloomberg headline on the oil story says, oil's rally above $100 loses steam on reserve release reports. So basically, G7 are weighing, they want to release their oil reserves so that price hikes would not keep going up. So that may tame the oil price, because once it passes 110, we are in uncharted waters. in about 3 years' time. All right, so I don't know where you want to start locally or you want to start.
Let's go with the Israel thing.
Okay, so
There are a lot
Kuyatua
of angles
Blakwa
to it.
has been speaking to the Commonwealth. The graphic leads with that on their front page, and it says the Minister of Foreign Affairs has called on the Commonwealth to condemn the recent attacks on UN peacekeepers in Lebanon and the removal of tariffs and trade barriers among Commonwealth member states. Speaking at the 26th Commonwealth Foreign Ministers meeting in London yesterday, Mr. Blackwell warned that attacks on UN peacekeepers could undermine global peacekeeping efforts and the principles of multilateral cooperation. Of course, his comments come on the back of the attack on the Ghana Battalion headquarters in southern Lebanon, also known as Camp Obing, last Friday evening, amid fire exchanges between Israeli Defense Forces and Hezbollah, a militia group labeled as terrorist by at least 27 countries operating in Lebanon. The minister described the attacks on the Gambat headquarters, which left 3 Ghanaian soldiers in critical condition, as an attack on the UN Charter and demanded full-scale investigations into the incident. And then he gave some other details. They also urged the Commonwealth to randomly condemn the attack and demanded investigations and hope the UN will act promptly. He also spoke about tariffs and other things.
Well, I'll take you to page 3 of the Today newspaper, where Dublin has also spoken. A wave of international fury erupted on Friday, March 6th, as Dublin, Tel Aviv, and the UN condemned a deadly assault on Ghanaian peacekeeping units. The Irish government issued a strong condemnation following the airstrike on the United Nations interim force in Lebanon base in southern Lebanon, an incident that resulted in serious injuries to 3 Ghanaian peacekeepers.
Don't forget that in that same base, there were Irish and Italian peacekeeping forces.
yes.
So it's 3 countries caught in the line of fire.
Yes, now I will take you to...
if you're wondering the state of those who were attacked or
Yes.
those who were
Okay, that's
injured,
what I-
Yes.
the point, page 4 says, injured Ghanaian peacekeeper undergoes surgery after missile strike on UN base in Lebanon. Now, Ghanaian peacekeeper who sustained severe injury during a missile strike on a United Nations base in southern Lebanon has successfully undergone surgery and is currently in stable condition. And the Deputy Minister for Defense, Ernest Broja Jemfi, disclosed in a social media update on Saturday, March 7, 2026.
And then the Ghana Armed Forces is also saying that the soldiers are now in high morale. So they issued a statement over the weekend saying that troops serving with the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, remain in high spirits despite the recent attack on their battalion.
I'll take you to the Daily Gist and page 2, and the story that most of the papers are carrying today. Businesses cry over killer electricity bills. Growing frustration is mounting among small business owners across Ghana following a sharp increase in electricity tariffs that has pushed operating costs to unprecedented levels. Traders, hairdressers, barbers, and coastal operators say the situation is threatening the survival of their businesses as electricity bills have surged by an effective 28% by early 2026. The concerns came to the fore during discussions at the People's Forum, where participants described the rising cost of electricity as one of the most pressing economic challenges confronting ordinary Ghanaians. And it's a story that is on the front page of almost every newspaper that came out today.
There's a strike in Ghana. Clocksack has begun an indefinite strike starting today. This is the Civil and Local Government Staff Association. Citi News was reporting that they are set to begin an indefinite nationwide strike today, March 9, in protest over what they describe as prolonged delays in implementation of their agreed conditions of service.
I will stay with the Daily Gist on page 4. Jubilee House slaps foreign trips ban on SOE boards. President John Dramani Mahama has directed all boards of state-owned enterprises and public institutions to immediately halt international travel funded by the state for training, retreats, conferences, and study tours, citing concerns over rising costs and the need for stricter fiscal discipline. The directive contained in a letter issued from the office of the president at Jubilee House and signed by Secretary to the President Callistus Mahama was addressed to all ministers of state and forms part of broader government measures to reduce non-essential public spending and ensure prudent management of national resources.
Let me now take you to the Chronicle, page 7. And government releases 30 million Ghana cedis for completion of Santase Bekwai Runabout project.
All right.
A story from Sebastian Alfriku in Kumasi. It says, President John Dramani Mahama has released an amount of 30 million Ghana cedis to facilitate the completion of the Santase Runabout to Bekwai Runabout Dualization Road project in Kumasi. Richard Ofori Ajman Bwedi, the Metropolitan Chief Executive of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly KMA, disclosed that the contractor who abandoned the project in early June due to financial constraints has now returned to site following the release of the funds.
Let me take you to global oil prices, and this is a really troubling one. Oil prices have the benchmark oil price has passed $100 a barrel for the first time since 2022, as the war in the Middle East continues. I'm using the BBC's report.
Yeah.
The rise is likely to further increase petrol prices, and the surge might not stop there. Now, there's a related story in Ghana's High Street Journal who are saying, as oil hits $107.97, Ghana faces a choice. Should we let markets drive prices up or intervene using reserves to stabilize the city and curb inflation? It's a really interesting article by the news desk. So the global energy market has been thrown into a state of unusual chaos as crude oil prices set past $107 mark, according to Bloomberg. The spike triggered by the intensifying conflict and the de facto closure of the Strait of Hormuz has left Ghana mid-March fuel pricing window facing its most pressing outlook in years. With tankers grounded and insurance premiums for shipping through the Gulf hitting historic highs, the cost of refined petroleum is expected to skyrocket. For Ghanaians, the pricing window beginning March 16 now represents a critical moment, and the question is, should the government intervene and sort of reduce the effect on inflation, or should it let market forces drive the prices to where they may? Now, I bring these stories up because oil price is almost like the most important thing that affects costs.
Yeah.
But then we are told that the G7, which are the group of 7 most wealthy nations, is thinking of releasing their oil reserves. So Bloomberg is now saying many of Asia's, the world's, the world's G7 ministers will hold a call later today to discuss a possible joint release of oil reserves. And this is to reduce the surge in oil prices globally. So we'll see how today ends.
So that's what they are doing at the international level. What are we doing
No,
here locally?
of course, once they do that and the prices stabilize, it doesn't affect us as much. If the prices keep going up, then the local consequence is more. So these are this. And of course, there's an analysis that even suggests that because Ghana exports crude, for example, Dr. Edu Sarko says oil's price surge may turn Iran conflict into windfall for Ghana. So this story is on my journal online, and he says, while geopolitical conflicts often trigger economic shocks, oil-producing countries like Ghana could, there's the keyword, could benefit from higher prices on the world market. And then he goes on to explain his point.
Well, since you've moved us international, let's stay there and wrap it up. But this is an international story with a local twist. On page 3 of the Daily Guide, Ghanaian National Director Vanier 40, also known as Van, has pleaded guilty to defrauding United States citizens of more than $10 million in romance scams. United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Jay Clayton, who announced the guilty plea on March 5, said Van was part of an international criminal organization that stole more than $100 million from victims via romance scams and business email compromises. The embattled Ghanaian, who pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud before U.S. District Judge Aaron Subramanian, faces up to 20 years in prison. Now, I'll take you to the Daily just on page 5, Bernard, where China's top diplomat, Wang Yi, China has warned against seeking government change in Iran amid the ongoing U.S.-Israeli offensive, saying any such move lacks public support. Plotting a color revolution or seeking government change will find no popular support. China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi told a news conference on the sidelines of an important annual gathering in Beijing, state-run Xinhua news agency reported on Sunday. And this is a bit strong because Wang Yi rarely talks. So he talks through other people, but for him to open his mouth.
Let's just stay at the international front because the point, page 9, Trump demands unconditional surrender from Iran as Putin holds talks with Tehran.
And they were bombing oil facilities over the weekend, driving the oil price as well. Yeah. Now, let me just end with a quick one. The BBC has a very interesting article on their Africa page on bitter times for cocoa farmers as chocolate market slumps. So Thomas Nadi has done a report from both Accra and Cote d'Ivoire. And he's basically said that because of what's happening to the world price of the chocolate market has slumped. So Ghanaian and Ivorian cocoa farmers are suffering. As in Ivory Coast, he says, for example, bags of cocoa beans have been left unbought.
Can I bring you the last one?
Yes, please.
President to visit South Korea to boost bilateral ties.
Let's hear that.
Now, President John Dramani Mahama will undertake a working visit to South Korea from March 10 to March 14, 2026, as part of efforts to strengthen bilateral relations and deepen economic cooperation between Ghana and the Asian nation. During the visit, President Mahama is expected to hold bilateral talks with the President of the Republic of Korea, Lee Jae-myung, and meet with the Speaker of the Korean National Assembly, Woo Won-shik.
That's a good one. Thank you very much for the newspaper review. That was Samuel Akom and Godfrey Akotobo. Coming up next is the City Business News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
This is the story of Anthony Owusu-Ansah and his delivery business, Shark Express. What started as one man's dream is now a thriving same-day delivery business that serves hundreds of families. Through financing, mentorship, business networks, and market access, APSA is helping businesses like Shark Express grow, create jobs, build futures, and deliver joy across Ghana. Behind Anthony's success isn't only hard work, it's having the right partner like APSA. From funding to guidance, APSA stands with entrepreneurs who dare to dream.
We see your story and we invite you to write it with us. Your story matters. APSA.
Oh, jump on now.
Go. Ah, Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same right. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind says be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Ajua. Challenge these days, new level crowd. Where did you pass?
Me, pass somewhere. I just switched for a better life. I switched for comfort. Look, your salary deserves better.
Switch?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
I switched my salary account to Fidelity Bank.
Oh, okay.
And that's my jackpot. I get higher loan amounts with lower interest rates, as well as personalized financial support. They gave me a loan to expand my side hustle. And the terms are just flexible.
Wow.
Your salary deserves better.
Oh, my salary deserves better, Pa. You see the way you are smiling wide? Yes, I will switch and smile wider. Your salary deserves better. Switch to Fidelity Bank today and enjoy lower interest rate, car and home loan, personalized financial support, and a smile that lasts. Switch and smile wider. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
If I believe with us, Fidelity. If I know I dey your side, Fidelity.
City Business News at 7 with Nashi Kasisa. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Able. Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, EcoBank and Valex Lease. Coming up, International Monetary Fund IMF warns that Middle East tensions will disrupt global markets, and escalating US-Israel conflict with Iran push oil prices past $100 per barrel. Also coming up, Chamber of Agribusiness demands suspension of all tariffs on fertilizer imports. I'm Nashi Kasisa. Let's settle for the details of our stories now. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, says financial markets are experiencing renewed volatility as tensions in the Middle East disrupt trade and push up global energy prices. According to the fund, the situation is also affecting economic activity and adding to uncertainty in the global economy. In a press release, the IMF indicates it is closely monitoring development, but notes that the situation remains highly fluid. The fund adds that it is still too early to determine the full economic impact on the region and the global economy. The IMF maintains the extent of the impact will depend on how long the conflict lasts and how it affects trade and energy markets.
Every single day that passes.
Now, global crude oil prices have surged past the $100 per barrel mark for the first time since 2022, as tensions in the Middle East continue to intensify following the ongoing conflict involving the United States, Israel, and Iran. Checks by Citi Business News on oilprice.com early Monday show that Brent crude was trading slightly above the $107 per barrel, while West Texas Intermediate was hovering around $104. The sharp rise in the prices has renewed concerns about possible pass-through effect on petroleum product prices in Ghana, particularly in the second pricing window of March. Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, Dan Kanamwa, has been speaking to Citi Business News on the potential impact of the price spike on Ghana's downstream petroleum sector.
As with the conflict in the Middle East happening, you lose a substantial amount of global supply, and that is culminating into what you now see as the spikes, right? Both in crude prices and finished product prices. Crude that used to be around $67, $69 a barrel is gone past $93 a barrel as we speak. Finished products that used to trade around $670, $690 a metric ton is gone past $990, almost $1,000 a metric ton. You would expect that for the second window in March, there could be substantial or significant increases in fuel prices at the pump, simply from the conflict that you are seeing in the Middle East. This is one of the fallouts. And then again, we've also not done much by way of planning for our country. If you talk of 5 weeks of strategic cover, it is woefully inadequate. That's just like a month.
Duncan Amwa is the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC. Away from that, the Bank of Ghana is warning banks that breaches of its newly issued guidelines governing Vostro accounts could attract sanctions including monetary penalties, suspension of foreign exchange dealing licenses, and restrictions on account operations. Here's more.
The caution forms part of new rules introduced by the central bank to regulate how foreign banks channel investment funds into Ghana through accounts held with resident banks. Under the framework, Vostro accounts maintained by non-resident banks can only be used for investment capital transactions, including foreign portfolio investment in government securities and corporate bonds and equities. The central bank says the guidelines are aimed at improving transparency and traceability of cross-border investment flows while safeguarding the orderly functioning of Ghana's foreign exchange market. Resident banks are also required to conduct daily reconciliation of Vostro account movement, implement real-time monitoring systems, and submit regular reports to the central bank. Breaches of the guidelines could trigger regulatory actions under the country's banking and foreign exchange laws.
That Business Desk report was filed by Emmanuel Opong. Moving on, the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana is calling on government to immediately suspend all tariffs and levies on fertilizer import, warning that a rapidly escalating geopolitical crisis in the Middle East could severely disrupt Ghana's agricultural production and worsen food insecurity. In an interview with Citi Business News, the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, Anthony Morrison, said removing the roughly 12% duty burden on fertilizer imports could provide immediate cost relief to farmers and importers at a time when global supply chains are facing major disruption.
As a strategic approach, the Chamber is calling for a suspension of all fertilizer import levies immediately. The Chamber deems it very fit, looking at the percentage point of import duty reduction in direct relief to farmers. At the moment of maximum pressure, this can be enacted by emergency statutory instrument within 24 to 48 hours. There is no justification for maintaining a 12% duty burden on fertilizer imports during a global supply emergency. and this must be done. This is why when things of this nature happens, the minister should be able to call for an emergency meeting with key industry stakeholders and find out how do we mitigate this issue. All this has not been done.
Anthony Morrison is the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana. Now on the interbank market today, the dollar is trading at 10 cedis 77 pesos. The British pound is going for 14 cedis 38 pesos, and the euro is going for 12 cedis 50 pesos. And that's it for the breakfast edition of the Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, EcoBank and Valex Lease. I'm Nashika Caesar. Many thanks for your company. Do have a great business day.
Okay, I'll see you soon. Why, baby? Hey, my me say enra me boyfriend akwesi obo star 959 hash e woni phone so. Na we win.
Anita, I don't doggy park.
Oh, wonso a. Akwesi asanso aba number 1. Yeah, mo adwen na ho. Ene de wo so ye me show papa bi. Na me de toss am me short sexy dress no. Na me sesa me tea. Na me ye me nails no so come on.
Oh, no.
Me fa uba. Make I do some small 1-2 rounds bi ansa me dru ne ho. Na we tria. Hey, na so he for order. So Chinese any wine papa bi. And they mean this check no.
Hey, Anita.
Na sa ni mia when you TV bi no. Also say sound. No top prepaid. Na me chilly AC mu. I no go fit sweat like that. See fine girl.
Hey, Anita.
Jesus.
Baby I will do no jina wa. Mr. Remember, dial star 959 hash. Oh, iPhone na back to on. Na wan ga senya osika so ate.
Sister, next time Kati call no what? Dial star 959 hash and I call 590mobile.com.gh. Not to be 590 mobile. Head down some.
Go day, say a party, mini me a chomo, chilling with friends, mini me a chomo, take chuck your hunger, mini me a chomo, break time please, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, come and taste the fun, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, come and taste the fun. For the laughter, mini, a chomo. All the parties, mini, a chomo. Let's go dancing, mini, a chomo. Taste the fun, mini, a chomo.
This advert is FDA approved.
It's so hard to find someone who's always there, who do the best they can to push you to the top. But I found myself a friend who's all of these and more. When I put my dreams to sleep, you wake me up to dream. I trust in blue. I trust in blue. I trust in blue. I trust in blue. Save your money with blue. Secure your future true. Blue Ghana day for you. I put my trust in blue. I trust in blue.
Blue Financial Services Ghana Limited. Trust in blue.
There's always that friend, neighbor, or family who is always welcome at Iftar time. And of course, there is always enough tea, because tea isn't just for drinking, it's for catching up, cracking jokes, and sharing moments. Lipton tea, for togetherness and those warmly welcomed visits. Ramadan Kareem from Lipton.
This advert is FDA approved.
Growth isn't just about getting bigger, it's about getting better. At First Atlantic Bank, integrity leads, customers come first, and excellence guides all we do. Today, that commitment takes a bold new step. First Atlantic Bank is now a PLC listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Stronger accountability, greater credibility, better service for families and businesses. Leading with I Care. First Atlantic Bank PLC, refreshingly different.
I'm telling you, my brother has scored more goals than Asamoah Gyan.
What? This is impossible.
Check the stats.
What stats? We can't start. I have seen everything from 1986.
Funny thing about us Ghanaians, we'll argue for 3 days straight, but numbers always settle the matter. So instead of just telling you about better fuels, let's do the math. The new Shell Fuel Save lasts up to 15 kilometers longer per tank. The new Shell V-Power cleans 100% of your engine's critical parts.
Now that's better by far.
The next time you think of filling up, choose new and improved Shell Fuels.
13 after 7. Nashika Caesar brought you the news review, the breakfast edition of the Citi Business News. And Edwin Kwalkofe is here with Kickoff. That's brought to you by Polytank. Have you gotten your Polytank Sumo Super yet? If not, this is your month to save. Get 10% off the premium multiple layer Sumo Super Tank from now till the end of Ghana month nationwide. Yes, we are celebrating our heritage, built with advanced multi-layer technology and reinforced for superior durability. Sumo Super is designed to last, giving you peace of mind for your home, project, or your business. So don't miss this limited time offer. Visit any Polytank outlet today, ask for Sumo Super, and save over 1,000 Ghana Citi. Polytank is the original. Beware of fraudsters because we do not request for Momo payments online. My name is Caleb Kuda and Edwin Kwalkofe is here with Kickoff.
Good morning and welcome to the Monday edition of Kickoff on the Citi Breakfast Show. I am Edwin Kwalkofe. Well, the magic of the FA Cup is alive and well. League One side Port Vale FC stunned Premier League outfit Sunderland AFC with a 1-0 victory to reach their first FA Cup quarter-final in 72 years. We'll bring you reactions from that game and also from the Formula One, which is back. And Mercedes started the season in grand style with a dominant 1-2 finish at the season opener. More on Kickoff, which is brought to you by Shell Go Well, Western Union, Polytangana, and Lesheho. Let's improve life. The first one be GPL. Well, good morning and welcome to the kickoff segment of the Citi Breakfast Show. We start off with the Ghana Premier League, and Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko both dropped points again this weekend, with each side also reduced to 10 men in their respective matches. The results deal another blow to the chances of clinching the league title this season, while Mediama also suffered a home defeat. Here's a wrap of the results with Julio Eshrifiamwa.
Belief in the proverbial erade that best describes what fans witnessed on matchday 25 of the Ghana Premier League. Let's start at the TNS Stadium, where league leaders Mediama SC were hoping to tighten their grip on the top spot. But Hoho United had other ideas. In one of the biggest upsets perhaps in the season, the relegation-threatened side stunned the home crowd with a 2-1 victory, handed Mediama their first home defeat of the season. To make matters even worse for the Move in Yellow, they had a chance to equalize, but they missed a crucial penalty. Talk about a bad day at the office. Meanwhile, at the Aliyu Mahama Sports Stadium, the Asante Kotoko faithful were left frustrated. The Porcupine Warriors suffered a 1-0 defeat to a determined Kerala United, a result that dents Kotoko's title ambitions as they slip further behind in a race. Speaking after the match on behalf of the head coach, assistant Hamza Obeng admitted the team simply fell short on the day.
We are down with the result that we had today. It's part of the game. We need to take it aside and then concentrate on our next game. We created a lot of chances inside the first half, of which we should have utilized it. But unfortunately for us, we were not able to put the ball at the back of the net, and then we considered that easy goal at the time that we were down by 1 man.
The day of Legon at the University of Ghana Stadium, it was another frustrating afternoon for Accra House of Oak. The Phobians were held to a goalless draw by Basake Holy Stars. Hearts had to play much of the game with 10 men after defender Kelvin Osei Asibe saw red, but they managed to dig deep and hold on for a point. For head coach of Hearts, Didi Dramani, the red card was unfortunate.
So it's always better to play with a numerical strength rather than to play with a numerical disadvantage, and surely you were going to pay for it because the energy depletion was going to be greater, and because we played greater part of the minutes without a goal would have motivated us to still do some key aspects. We're still very positive that we're playing to win, not to draw.
Around Underground's Young Apostles pulled up a big 3-1 win over defending champions the Beginning Gold Stars, who are suddenly looking shaky in the title race. Adriana FC kept their championship hopes alive with a comfortable 2-0 victory over 11 Wonders, and Vision FC continued their impressive run, beating Brokum Chelsea 3-1 to extend their unbeaten run to 6 matches. Despite the shocks of the weekend, Mediama SC still sit top of the table with 46 points, but Bibiani Gold Stars and Accra House of Oak are right behind them, and the pressure is mounted.
That was the wrap of the GPL weekend by my colleague Julio Ashrifi Amwa. Now, the assistant coach of Sudan's national football team, Ignatius Osei-Fusu, has expressed concerns over the possible return of Andre Ayew to the Ghana national football team ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. His comments follow remarks by Ghana's Minister for Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, who said he would not be surprised if the NAC Breda forward makes the Black Star squad for the tournament in June. Ayew also boosted his chances after scoring his first goal for NAC Breda yesterday. Osei-Fusu shared his thoughts while speaking on Love FM.
At that time, I think he should the day himself should let it go and then focus on his club football. That's why I like these white people. You know, at a point, you remember what's in Totti? They called him to the Italian, and he says, "No, I want to focus on club football." They have a lot of them. They are still playing at the highest level. You see, there are a lot of them who are still playing at the highest level, but they will tell you that I think I want to concentrate. I have to. At a point, I think we should move on from. For example, how old is Jordan in the Black Stars now? Like 30 or something. Jordan is 32.
Yeah.
So, and we want to bring the day who is older than him 3 years, 35.
That was the voice of the assistant coach of the Sudanese national football team, Ignatius Osei-Fusu. Let's get some tennis news now. The Accra Professional Ladies Open returned after a 3-year break, running from the 3rd of March and concluding on Sunday at the Backyard Court in Osu. The finals attracted tennis enthusiasts from different parts of the world who gathered to witness the all-women's tennis tournament. Ivory Coast Koulibaly Sadio defeated Ghana's Filipina Sewonu in straight sets to win the title and secure a free trip abroad. Speaking after the event, co-organizer Nashika Edu expressed satisfaction with the success of the competition.
I think that we did a great job. It's been quite, it hasn't been challenging, but we had to put in a lot of work to have this come together, having 2 different venues and then also having all female owned and led businesses supporting this event. There are so many times where we could have 10 to male owned enterprises, but we decided to stick to the female owned businesses, and they came to support us. And I'd say that I didn't expect, I know we're going to do the work, but I didn't expect it to turn out this way. And also just hearing the spectators, players especially, and even families of the players congratulate us on how this event went. I think that we did a great job.
That was the co-organizer of the Ladies Open, Nashika Edu. Let's do some polo now. And the acting high commissioner from South Africa to Ghana, Siri Sathe, says sports can serve as a powerful tool to strengthen ties between the two countries. Her comments come after the South African High Commission in Ghana hosted a polo event at the Accra Polo Club, bringing together diplomats, business executives, and entrepreneurs and sports enthusiasts. The event combined thrilling polo action with strategic discussions aimed at promoting business and travel opportunities between Ghana and South Africa. Speaking to Citi Sports, Ms. Selther highlighted the important role sports can play in strengthening cooperation between the two nations.
We have very strong bilateral relations, our two countries. They are structured at a BNC level, which is a binational commission chaired by our two presidents. So it's a very important relationship. Ghana is one of our strategic partners. So we want to elevate these relations even more. This year, we are expecting that our president will meet here in Ghana under the BNC. The tourism cooperation is one of the active cooperations that we have in Ghana. So today, we are just enhancing that cooperation to include business, to include people-to-people relations, and we are excited to be here to witness this lovely occasion.
That was the acting High Commissioner of South Africa to Ghana, Mfisire Selther. Well, we move to Europe now, and in the Emirates FA Cup in England, Sunday's action saw Leeds United cruise past Norwich City 3-0, Southampton edge out Fulham 1-0 away from home, and League One side Port Vale pull off a massive 1-0 Giants killing of Sunderland. For head coach of Sunderland, Regis Lebris, he was simply disappointed.
Yeah, we went strong with the ambition to win, with the knowledge as well that it was a tough challenge because of the challenge here with the crowd, the team fully involved, full credit to them. They had an opportunity in the first half, scored, where probably during the game 4 or 5 we didn't score, and then it was difficult to impose our strength. For different reasons.
What reasons would you see there? I mean, was it desire? Is the pitch a reasonable excuse, do you think? A mix. Probably. It's hard to say. The week was tough for us. After it was our third game after Leeds and Bournemouth. Obviously, it was intensity-wise maybe a bit hard, and the opponent played well. And after that, we still have to learn because we have a young team, and it's important to reset.
That was Sunderland boss Regis Lebris. On Saturday, Arsenal narrowly avoided an upset by beating Mansfield Town 2-1, while Chelsea needed extra time to finally overcome a resilient Wrexham 4-2. Here's the thoughts of Chelsea head coach Liam Rosenior after the game.
We think that's every reason why the FA Cup is what it is. I thought Wrexham were magnificent in their energy and how brave they were in their press and how they played, and we had to be a high level. We were pushed all the way by a very good team tonight.
What about the character you had to show as well? What perhaps did you learn about your players that you maybe didn't know before tonight?
To be honest, nothing new. We went 1-0 down early against Aston Villa. We were 2-0 down at half-time against West Ham. We have to find a way to not be in that position, but what the players are showing me, no matter who's on the pitch, there's a really good spirit and a belief and a determination to win games of football, which we're going to need for the rest of the season.
Chelsea boss Liam Rosenior. Manchester City also advanced after coming from behind to beat Newcastle United 3-1 at St James's Park. Liverpool, at the start of the weekend, got a 3-1 win over Wolves. The round concludes later tonight when West Ham hosts Brentford to Formula One and Australian Grand Prix. Kicked off the Formula One 2026 season this weekend with George Russell powering to a commanding victory for Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team. Russell led Kimi Antonelli across the line to secure a dominant 1-2 finish for Mercedes at the race held on the 8th of March. The event also marked the debut of Formula One's new technical regulations, with Mercedes gaining the edge through a well-executed one-stop strategy. Let's hear how the Mercedes drivers reacted after the race, starting with race winner George Russell.
It kind of was the race that we were anticipating, difficult start, potentially yo-yoing with the overtakes. I knew we had the car pace, so I probably left a bit more margin while fighting Charles, and he was quite aggressive in some of the defensive manoeuvres. At the end of the day, I think we created a really good race for you guys watching at home. As challenging as it was still fun from within the cockpit, and yeah, maybe these new regs aren't as bad as everyone's making out.
Yeah, we had an issue at the start with the battery, so yeah, then the procedure was very, very stressful. Had a lot of wheel spin, and was a pity. I couldn't even do burnouts going into the grid, but the pace was very strong, and I think it's very promising, and I think it's going to be a fun year. Of course, the team did incredible, and today was possible because of yesterday.
That was the voice of Mercedes driver Kimi Antonelli. Before him, you had race winner the weekend, George Russell. And that's how kickoff ends on the Citi Breakfast Show. Kickoff was powered by Shell Go Well, Western Union, Politan Ghana, and Lesheho. Let's improve life. I'm Edwin Kwakofi. The Citi Breakfast Show with Bernard Avle continues.
From now to the end of Ghana month, Polytank is celebrating with you. We are giving you over 1,000 Ghana cedis for free on our premium Sumo Super range of water tanks in celebration of Ghana. Sumo Super is designed to last, giving you peace of mind for your home, project, or business. Don't miss this limited time offer. Visit any Polytank outlet today. Ask for Sumo Super and save over 1,000 Ghana cedis. Polytank, the original, always the best. Panono Ankasa. Beware, Polytank does not request for Momo online.
Whether you're buying water from your favorite spots in Osu, shopping online for the latest styles, or booking your next getaway to Dubai, MasterCard gives you the freedom to pay your way. Insert, tap, swipe, click. So many options, yet so easy. With layers of security protecting every payment, your money stays safe. From Trotro to travel, MasterCard connects you to the life you've earned and the one you dream of. Ask your bank for a MasterCard today. MasterCard. Safe, convenient, priceless.
The Citi Breakfast Show. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
The Money Matters segment is brought to you by Petra. Petra, achieve more.
Welcome to the Money Matters segment with Petra. We set goals for cars, houses, and promotions. But how about our peace of mind? Financial stability may not trend online, but it changes how you live every day. Less panic, less pressure, better sleep. Money may not buy happiness, but planning can protect your peace. Petra is here to help you build that peace step by step. So speak to a financial advisor today. Dial *447 *70#. Let's do life together. Petra, achieve more.
The Money Matters segment was brought to you by Petra. Petra, achieve more.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show.
$7:34 Citi Breakfast Show. Ghana at 69. Long weekend with a Friday holiday. Back on the grind today. A couple of happy birthday greetings coming through on the show this morning. Happy birthday to Pearl Senna Adanu of Harlequin International Ghana Limited, Jowlu. This is from Nicholas Kofi of Zenith Bank, aka Pocho. Happy birthday to Kwejo Kwachi Osafu Texan, Nursery 2, pupil of Most Holy Heart School. You turn 6 today. We ask for God's blessings upon your life from your parents, Mr. and Mrs. Osafu Texan and family. Happy birthday to the only Lord Enoch Oblite Kome in Ghanaian political dispensation, former national organizer MPP, former director of operations at the office of the president. This is coming from the former president Nana Akufo-Addo. I don't know how that got onto my phone. So I don't know whether somebody is sending it on behalf of the former president or who is sending this. I don't even know. Okay. This is actually from your dearest wife, Anita, and your 3 lovely girls, Na, KK, and Angel. Happy birthday to my big brother, Theodore Agbeko, Dom of ECG Projects Office. Today we celebrate a humble pillar who stood by our mom and supported her in every possible way, helping him to bring me and the entire family to where we are today. You give me opportunities you never had yourself, and for that I'll always be grateful. From your wife, Nana, Abba, the kids, and myself, we wish you all that you wish for yourself. May God bless you with long life, good health, and abundant grace. Happy birthday, Agbeko. We love and appreciate you dearly. Birthday requests on the program are brought to you by MasterCard. You can make life easy using our cards for payment. You can swipe, you can insert, or you can tap. MasterCard, do something priceless. Good morning, Bernard. Today is the birthday of my wife, Pelna Ayoko Adote of Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. I wish her the best in the years ahead. Long life and good health. Happy birthday, my dear, from Benjamin Adote of CSIR Head Office. Have you noticed that most birthday requests I get for people working in government, their spouse is also in government? There are two key things I see. Mostly bank, and then government. And usually government, you have like this one, CSIR, Ministry of Trade, BOG, Ministry of Finance. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know whether they meet on the job and then they decide that they will work in another government agency, or the place is so good that they will say, you know what, I think you should come and work here too.
most likely the first one.
Or it also possibly reveals the mindset around working for your country. Because some people like that. So
no, that one there. It's the first one. Forget. It's the first one.
It's public.
It's the first one.
Remember
the last one.
It's
the first one.
When you talk about people usually marry 30 radius within their 30 radius, whatever. He was trying to explain why he himself, Kofi Annan, married, women, white and all that kind of thing.
Okay, where they were working. Yeah, I get it. But what I was just wondering is, how does it feel? Because I feel like in raising a family, having 2 people who do the same 9 to 5 is very tough. And if you are both government workers, like I feel like a business person and a government worker is more easy, because like a business person is like controlling your own time. Yeah. And a government person's time is a bit more fixed. I don't know. But I see a lot of birthday requests coming from people who work in one ministry, department or agency, and another.
It's called meeting on the job.
Thank you.
Well,
and you spend a lot of time at the workplace, so definitely finding love there.
But they are not in the same company.
Yes, they go for meetings, they go for retreats,
capacity building.
Capacity building.
Capacity.
Plenty things.
Good morning. Please wish our beautiful daughter Obrimpoma Asare Trinity School Sahara a happy glorious 10th. We wish we pray that as she turns 10 today, God will watch over her and protect her and lead her in the right path. From her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Emmanuel and Ida Asare, her siblings Anna Kwame and Enunyam, and the entire family.
I want to say congratulations to. Hey, Kakra is dressed. I was going to say Holy Child, and she's dressed like that. So they also celebrated a birthday of sorts over the weekend.
Let me take over.
You can't take over. Let me say my birthday, for them. So congratulations to all Hobsons, Kakra, Prof, Amfo. Yes, Nanaba Pia Amfo was there as well.
And we are grateful to the Vice President, Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opukwajiman, for gracing the occasion. She belongs to the green and yellow family, our sisters, but she decided to drop her green and put on a brown to join Holy Child Celebrate. I think that big congratulations to the 2001 year group for pulling off a massive celebration and an amazing project, which is the ultra-modern solar-powered water facility. If you went to Holy Child or school in Central Region, you know how much of a big deal water is. And so big congratulations. And we also encourage the girls who are still in school to continue to do their best and make the school proud.
Bernard, please, as a belated 92nd birthday to my dad, two-time Africa Cup of Nations champion Dodu Ankara, also known as Magic Hands. We love and appreciate you deeply. May God continue to bless you with good health and many more years from your daughter Nakwama Siao and all your children too. Dodu Ankara, two-time Africa Cup of Nations champion.
And another one coming into Ncheje twins, Emmanuel Ncheje of Margins Ghana and Eunice Ncheje of GT Bank. May God bless you immensely from Majori Kwanzaa. We welcome back the team from the Heritage Caravan. Lots of great feedback. A couple of friends sent me messages around their experience, and I'd like to read one or two. They went on the 10th anniversary Heritage Caravan that took them through the Greater Accra region, the Eastern Volta Oti, Northern region, Northeast, Upper East, Northern, Bono East, Bono Ashanti, and they also came through Central Western regions. And this one says, good morning, Bernard. This was an amazing experience. The organization and coordination was world class, and I can only appreciate how much work and effort it's taken to build this property. Kudos to the team. Here are some more patrons of the Heritage Caravan expressing their feelings about the 8-day trip that took them around the country on this 10th anniversary edition.
It was tiring, but very fruitful. We really enjoy ourselves.
Was this your first time?
This is my first time anyway.
Will you come again?
Yes.
So next year we should look forward to seeing you.
Yes.
It's been awesome. It's been awesome 8 days. Sometimes I forget to even know which day we are in. That's how good and how great it has been. And I think it's a lot of lessons. For me personally, I've got to know new people. We had an emotional 10 minutes when we almost got here because a lot of people were pouring their hearts out, and you could tell that some energy is almost draining out of everybody. But it has been a wonderful experience.
It was excellent. That's the only word.
Excellent is what I
want.
I love it.
Excellent.
I love it.
Excellent.
More on this coming up later. But if you're tired of Accra and want a quick escape, let me recommend Biposo Wellness Resort. It can be for business, a weekend break, or just pure relaxation. Biposo gives you calm, comfort, and fresh mountain air. The perfect place to rest and reset. And it's only 30 minutes drive from Accra. I actually know people who live in Ibrahim and work in Accra. Yeah. So you can call 0200 557 699 or visit biposoresort.com to book today. Biposo Wellness Resort, peace lives here. Your car takes care of you every day. Now it's time to do same. Protect your car with a comprehensive motor insurance policy with SG Ghana Sound Drive and get free fuel coupons as reward. You can also get exciting branded souvenirs when you buy or renew your third-party policy or renew our new Smart Drive policy. It's a third-party policy with an extra layer of protection and benefits. Promo is until 31st March. Call 0302-214-314 for more information or walk into the nearest 5 SG Ghana branch to buy or renew your motor insurance policy today. Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you. Everyone wants better smartphones, better sleep, and if you own a ride, you definitely want better fuel for your engine. That's why Shell brings you the new and improved Shell V-Power, Shell Fuel Save Unleaded, and Shell Fuel Save Diesel. The new and improved Shell Fuel Save now lasts up to 15 kilometers longer per tank, while the new and improved V-Power cleans 100% of your engine's critical parts with every fill. It doesn't get any better than this. In fact, it's better by far. Go to your nearest Shell station and fill up with our new and improved Shell fuels today. Shell Fuel Save, simply better by far.
And in today's connected world, technology is not a convenience, it's critical. So don't get caught in a bend when your smart devices fail. Tech Therapy Limited is your one-stop solution for smart device repair. Visit us for solutions you can trust. No guesswork, no unnecessary delays. Call us on 0505 789 096 or 0256 111 790. Follow our socials, Tech Therapy GH. Visit our website, techtherapy.africa, or pass by our office at 24 Garden Road, East Legon, near the ANC Mall. Tech Therapy, your digital wellness partner. Your business deserves every chance to grow, and Zenith Bank is here to make it happen. Open a Zenith SME account today and unlock powerful solutions designed to fuel business growth. Also enjoy the perks of the Zenith SME business card designed to help you manage business spends and make secure payments for goods and services. With the Zenith SME business card, you will enjoy free customized digital SME trainings, free marketing toolkit, access to Visa practical business skills training, and 24/7 access to funds, so much more. So give your business the boost it deserves. Open a Zenith SME business account today. Sign up for a Zenith SME business card. For more information, visit zenithbank.com.gh. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
So the question is, how high will the fuel prices go? I'll give you a quick analysis that has been done here. And what would that mean for Ghana's economy? Don't forget, this government has stabilized the Citi and has also brought inflation down to 3-point-something%. But we do know that oil prices are possibly the single most important item anywhere in the world when it comes to prices. And I usually say that when it comes to the economics, it's very simple. All economies want two things. They want full employment and they want stable prices. And sometimes they are they are competing. So anything that disrupts your ability to get stable prices is a big concern. So oil prices are very critical. We'll talk about that shortly. The war has reached its 6th or 7th day, and now we're seeing bombings of oil facilities in Iran. All right, and of course the Strait of Hormuz, which has about 25% of the movement of global oil traffic, also now is a no-go area. There's a big debate on social media around politics. Some people are saying people in MPP are hoping that the war will create a problem for the NDC government and all of those things, because when MPP was in office as well, the NDC people took advantage of Russia, Ukraine, which is why you read a few papers around Mahama's doublespeak. But I feel like we should all be concerned about where this is headed and the potential effect of this. I think people see, generally, it's easier to see the relationship between oil and our economy than wheat. And I think the Russia-Ukraine war, the reason a lot of people were doubting the link was that people didn't see the direct link, although it did affect logistics. And people underestimated the role of Russia and Ukraine in producing a lot of things we use.
Urea, fertilizers.
Yes, fertilizers were affected. I did an article with Susu Graham on freight, fertilizer, on fuel, on food, and I think something else. But I feel like oil is more direct.
True.
So the High Street Journal has an article here. I'm just going to give you some highlights of this. They are saying the global energy market has been thrown into a state of unusual chaos as crude oil prices surged past the $107.97 mark, according to Bloomberg. The spike, triggered by the intensifying conflict and a de facto closure of the Strait of Hormuz, has left Ghana's mid-March fuel pricing window now its most pressured outlook in years. With tankers grounded and insurance premiums for shipping through the Gulf hitting historic highs, the cost of refined petroleum is expected to skyrocket. For Ghanaians, the pricing window beginning March 16 now represents a critical moment in the road for national economic policy. Currently, petrol and diesel prices in Ghana are calibrated against crude trading at much lower levels, with the market now trading nearly $40 higher than previous benchmarks. The MPA's upcoming review could see pump prices jump by a significant margin. Industry analysts warn that if the government allows free market forces to dictate the price entirely, transport fares and food costs will likely follow the upward trend, potentially erasing recent gains in curbing inflation and stabilizing the cost of living. The debate is divided between fiscal discipline and social protection. Proponents of intervention argue that government must use its international reserves to stabilize the cedi and provide subsidized exchange rates to bulk oil companies, BDCs. By utilizing the price stabilization and recovery levy as a buffer, the state could prevent panic cycle where citizens hoard foreign currency in anticipation of higher costs. On the other hand, skeptics of intervention point to the risk of under-recoveries. This refers to government debt owed to oil importers that has historically crippled the national budget. They argue that the market must be allowed to adjust naturally to prevent long-term fiscal instability, even if it means enduring short-term pain at the pump to avoid a larger debt crisis later. Let me repeat this, and I'll take your views and my listeners' views as well. The debate has two sides. Those who are going for fiscal discipline, and then those who are going for social protection. Social protection argue that use international reserves to stabilize the cedi, subsidize the exchange rate for BDCs. This will be a way that prevents a panic cycle where people hoard dollars in anticipation of higher costs. Right? So then what will happen if you did that? You will ease the pressure on dollars, and people will have cheaper fuel. So social intervention is what they are asking. The manner is what is not clear. Then those who don't want intervention are saying that the history of Ghana's economic problems, energy under recoveries is a major part. So every time we discuss the economy, we talk about toll debt, we talk about the energy sector debts that have made ECG and all these companies very unprofitable. So they're saying allow market forces to work. If the oil prices have gone up and therefore BDCs will lift their finished product at a higher price, let it be so. Let people buy fuel at the price that it is. So that even though inflation may go high, the government's books will not look bad. Because when the government's books look bad, it inevitably affects everybody else. Because if government is not able to pay its energy parastatals, then that debt it leads to inefficiency. Then you start having doomsday and all these things. So they are saying, allow people to pay the normal price for oil. Don't do any intervention. All right. Now, let me continue the article and I'll see where we go. They argue that the market must be allowed to adjust naturally to prevent long-term fiscal instability, even if it means enjoying short-term pain. As reports indicate, targets on refineries and potential potential production cuts in the Gulf, the global supply gap paints a grim picture for importing nations. Speculation is already causing ripples in the currency market, where the cedi is facing renewed pressures as businesses crumble for dollars. Economic experts and analysts such as Imani's Kofi Bentil are calling on the government to address the nation urgently. A clear communication strategy regarding the use of the Gold for Oil program and the deployment of reserve buffers is seen as essential to prevent panic buying. Reassuring a public that the state has a roadmap to navigate the fallout of a war thousands of miles away is critical to maintaining market confidence and social stability. The eyes of the nation are now on the Ministry of Energy and the MPA to see if a shield will be deployed or if the market will take its natural course. And I'll discuss this with some analysts after 8 a.m. But I want to lay out the issues a bit more clearly in a very simple term. If what is happening in the Middle East does not stop, or if other factors don't intervene, like if the G7 does not release its oil reserves, oil prices could get to a point where even though Ghana will benefit from exporting crude, that windfall will be offset by two things. So we produce oil, but we don't own all the oil.
Yeah.
So some of the oil we produce is owned by the companies that drill it. Higher oil prices means that those companies will get more money for the oil they sell, so they'll pay more taxes to us. Yeah. Then the oil we get, we can use it in two ways. We can decide to sell it on the global market to people who refine it. Yeah. So like selling it raw, and get dollars for it. A lot more dollars. Yeah. But that dollars you get may be offset by the higher price the whole country pays for finished product that it uses in two ways. We use finished product for fueling our cars as individuals, but we also use finished products in some of our power plants. So this is really an accounting problem. You can decide that, let's assume the oil price remains at 110. Let's assume you produce 100 barrels of oil a day, but you own only 50% of it. That 50% that you own, if you sell all of it, oil price was around 70. Now it's moved to 110. You will get an extra maybe $40 per barrel, which is good for your economy. But the finished product, that BDCs lift that we use in our vehicles, once the oil price goes up, the finished product also goes up. Number two, because that Strait of Hormuz, some of the BDCs will have their ships go through there, their cost of transportation also goes up. So there could even be an oil shortage in increasing the price further. So the finished product will also be more expensive, because insurance is also going to be more expensive. So the finished product is more expensive. It means that what we buy to power, say, some of our power plants in Clone, which depend on all types of fuel, means we'll pay more for electricity than what you pay at the pump, because what you pay at the pump is the ex-refinery price, right? So the price build-up that you pay, there's a whole markup. You're going to pay more for it. Okay, so that's equation two. Then there's a third equation. Do you use the 50% of the oil that you own? Do you decide that instead of selling it on the international market and getting the windfall and keep the dollars, do you sell it to Tor and send to? If you sell it to Tor and send to, it may mean that you may not sell it to them at the international price, because Tor is your own refinery. But that means that the state will forfeit the revenue it will get if it sold it on the international market. So to get lower prices for us to use, you sell it to Tor at a lower price.
We enjoy some relief.
So you see why the economics around fuel prices always requires you to discuss refineries. So do you get the dollars for the higher oil price and let consumers bear the brunt of the higher finished product? So government gets the money, we suffer. We suffer in two ways. We pay more for fuel and also we pay more electricity. Or do you say, let's sell a lot of our oil? That's if Centro and Tor even have the same system that refines the kind of oil we produce. Because don't forget, there are various grades of oil. And I'm hoping that the system that Tor has created is able to refine our oil, not another type. And also that we have not entered contracts with buyers of our crude to a point where we can't even change and sell. You see all the equations. So then it means someone must be telling us, okay, is there something in the agreement that says when there's a force majeure, like what's happening, you may sell some of your crude you produce? Do we even have agreements with our oil producing partners to say that the oil you produce belongs to you, but in a time of war, the nation's refineries must get first right of refusal? These are the things we should all be asking. Okay, and this sounds simplistic, but this is actually the issue. If the agreement you signed with Talo and all these guys, does it include something that says in a period like this, if Tor can refine and if Centro can refine, give them the oil? And if it says give them oil, at what price? Do you give it to them at the international price? Do you give it to them at the local price? Do you see where I'm going with this? So I feel like there are key decisions that need to be made between the finance ministry and the energy ministry. All right. And we need to decide as a country whether keeping the books nice, because we are nearly out of an IMF program, should we allow consumers to pay more so that our books, because you know in small African economies, once your deficits start becoming bigger, once your books are not balancing, all the rating agencies begin to write things about you that affects your credit worthiness. People begin to pull their investment. So some of your reputation is based on your books. So your citizens can be suffering, paying more for fuel, but if your books are nice, somehow it still gives you some supposed credit worthiness. But then the opposition also giving you heat around people's cost of living.
Yeah.
So do you say, let's make our citizens happy,
Yes.
and let's allow the international people to go and sleep? Or how do you balance the two? That balancing question is what we elect leaders to do.
Yes.
And that decision must be based on many things, including history, including understanding of where we are, including compassion and transparency and honesty, including leading by example. So, for example, this week, the president announced that all travel by these people, boards and things should be cut, because I sense that the honeymoon is over. Clocksack has gone on strike. People are starting to complain.
Agitations.
So if the government doesn't continue its self-austerity, it can't tell people to suffer. I don't see how you're going to subsidize and create more debt for your energy parastatals, because you are trying to come out of that. So even though I think they'll let us pay more, that's the way I see it. From all I've said, I think they'll let us pay more, because they cannot allow the gains of the past 3 years of what IMF has done to be thrown out of the window because of this crisis. So I suspect that the reason they are now saying people should stop traveling a bit more,
they are tightening the belt so they can pass that on to us.
That's my feeling.
Hey, plus the ECG thing we are doing.
Because the ECG thing, if you create more debt for ECG by trying to subsidize their fuel, you are going to create more problems for ECG. So the ECG thing, we all have to agree that let's ECG's books be clean. All right? You cannot take on any new energy sector debt, because the energy sector is a very critical sector that once you mess it up, everything goes bad. And the Minister of Energy has been the past 1 year trying to make the cash waterfall mechanism work again, basically trying to make our energy companies look good on paper. So you cannot begin a new subsidy program. If I'm an accounting person talking. But I also understand that already people are agitating. All right, they want obviously more salary. Workers didn't get a salary increase properly, so-called, last year. Clocksag is also agitating. You get it?
Yeah.
So, and the opposition is also now saying, look, pay cocoa farmers the right price.
Yes.
So this is where the rubber meets the road. That's why they are paid the salary they are paid. So they should look at this.
We are being punished for the inefficiency of state institutions like ECG, whilst the people who have run it down are also not being punished. And we are told that the wheels of justice grind slowly. You get it? Because if you are telling us that we have mismanaged A, B, C, and D, we need to know those who mismanaged it, have them punished, and then we can judge and think together. This belt tightening thing, yes, that's fair. But if you are going to pass this on to us, we are paying so much on electricity, and now we are coming to pay so much for fuel too.
But Caleb, that mismanagement is true to an extent, but it's also, you see, there are two things. So there are issues around the way they mismanage meters and that kind of thing. Yeah. But some of the problems of the energy parastatals are because of decisions like this, where there's an increase in oil prices globally, and for political reasons you absorb it and then you can't pay. Do you understand? So if you say, so let's assume the government decides that they don't want consumers to pay, so they will subsidize. Somebody will come and describe it as mismanagement.
Yeah.
Because from a perspective of economic prudence, allow market forces to work. Provide the buffer through another means. So the World Bank will say, instead of providing a fuel subsidy at the pump, do leap.
Yes.
Because they will say if your prices go up, a poor person may only pay higher transportation costs.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a car that he fuels.
It will affect the food he buys.
Yes, but it's indirect. So give him money.
Okay.
Instead of having a blanket subsidy
subsidized for everyone,
you get it? Because because
okay.
a minister has a V8. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you give him a subsidy, he benefits from that subsidy, and the truck driver will not even pass on that cost
to the passenger
directly. But if you keep the fuel price high and you give and this is World Bank reasoning.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I agree with. I'm just explaining.
Yeah.
If you give the poor person a direct cash amount, even though the fuel price is high and inflation may go high, that's the way that's their reasoning. So and they're saying that don't just subsidize petroleum products. Okay. Some people don't agree with that, but I feel like over the years, if like the leap were managed in a way that was transparent, and we know that it gets to the real targets, then you can say that logic is correct. But the whole point is around the detail of implementation. Let's take a breather and talk social media trends. And then when we come back at 8 o'clock, we'll pick some expert views on this.
So Tech and Social Media Trends is brought to us by Telecel, and Edwin Kwakofi is here with all the details of what has been trending.
Hello Caleb, hello Bernard, good morning Kakra and Sky as well.
Yeah, good call me Hobson, don't call me Kakra.
Oh, okay. Hobson.
Thank you.
Good morning, Hobson.
Awesome.
Okay, so we move on to the topics that are trending this morning. Barcelona fans are very unhappy.
Why?
Because their former manager and former player Xavi, he granted an interview and said that he was betrayed by Barcelona president Juan Laporta. He said he wanted to bring back Messi to the club after the World Cup win, which was a big deal for Barcelona fans at the time. But Juan Laporta stepped in and stopped the move because he said he couldn't handle the wages of Messi, and it will create a wage war in the club, which they couldn't deal with. So that has been it's set up a huge conversation online amongst Barcelona fans, because some are happy because Messi at 35, I mean, he won the World Cup, but it didn't make sense to the club at the time.
It's the money. Messi at any age is good.
That's how I say it's Messi. He's a legend at the club. He's still playing some really good football. So
the money
into the club would have been a good thing. So they are split on both sides, for and against Xavi. But I think the more important thing is Juan Laporta. He is in a race for the presidency at the moment. So any negative news is going to affect him badly. So Barcelona fans are raging on social media. Next topic, Andre Ayew.
Scored a great goal.
Scored a great header over the weekend for NAC Breda. His first goal for the club in 9 matches in the Dutch Eredivisie. Where the conversation is, should he go to the World Cup? I think last week the Sports and Recreation Minister Kofi Adams, he said he wouldn't be surprised if Andre goes to the World Cup. He's 36.
How old was Miroslav Klose when he went to the World Cup the last time?
In 2014.
He was around 35-ish.
Yes, he was. But Klose was very active playing before.
Where does Andre play now?
He plays in the Dutch Eredivisie. And he's played 9 matches for NAC Breda.
If he's on form, let him go. For the inspiration now.
He scored 1 goal. He scored 1 goal.
No, I'm saying if he's on form.
Oh, the form.
This guy, football is of inspiration.
We saw what he did. The cost. I mean, he's a great guy. He's done his best.
Sky, we are saying if
I honestly don't.
36 is not that old, Sky.
Bro, Charlie. The man is no longer what he used to be. We must be prepared to accept some of these.
Give others the opportunity.
No, he has the.
We have a Dinketia them all out there.
No, he has the feeling.
No, he should be on the bench.
One goal, then there's a project. Bring him. That's the same thing we did. We went to La Côte d'Ivoire. We lost the ball and they score. We come back home. We want to try him again. No, he's done his best. And he's a hero. We continue to celebrate him.
That's point what on my plan. Go ahead.
Okay, so the next trend is also about football, but it's local football. And yesterday we saw a match involving the league leaders, Midyama. And one of the major things was the performance of the goalkeeper, which has led to many people suggesting that the game might have been influenced, because the goalkeeper committed a series of errors, one of them in particular leading to a goal against Hoho United. But the second thing is he actually stepped up for a penalty, which he missed. And him not being the regular penalty taker of the club, it's just sets the cat amongst the pigeons that the Ghana Premier League may be compromised. We don't have any confirmation of that, obviously, but the happenings from that game didn't make people happy at all. Now let's move from that to the former Vice President, Dr. Mahundu Bawumia, who on social media, he was challenged to a 100-meter race by social media influencer Kojo Sheldon. He said
publicity stunts.
Yes, publicity stunts. He said he would accept it and then engage it.
Could you tell them versus about
100 meter race? Yeah,
they should let Bamia stand 30 meters in front of him before they run. Because Kojoseli is a young man.
Oh, but still, he is.
How old is Kojoseli?
Maybe in his 30s.
Yeah. Bamia is close to 60 now.
Okay, so we move on to a troubling story that I saw. A video of this was from Nigeria, but obviously it can be related to Ghana as well. A video of someone carving the word airbag into a car, just to indicate that the car had an airbag, even though there was none.
Wow. So you use chisel.
Yeah, to carve.
No, it's called all AWL.
Very
he put it in hot. He put it in hot fire and then he carved
airbag into the car. So obviously it's very dangerous for your car to. For you to think your car has an airbag when it doesn't. Yeah.
Maybe he thinks the word airbag is a design.
Yeah, so that is a worrying issue. Now to tech news, and there's a lot of information about people out on social media. People are selling your information, things they find online, to other people who can target you with ads. Some might even scam you. So I've been looking for a way to deal with it, and Google has this app or tab. It's called Results About You.
Okay.
So in there, you enter your name or any information that people might use to search for you, and then in a few hours it delivers some results about what people have been putting out there about you, what information is out there about you, so you can decide what to clear or get rid of. So it's a very important instrument for people who are worried about their privacy, their information being out there. So Results About You is myactivity.google.com. So if you are worried about that, you might as well go search and check what's going on.
That was Tech and Social Media Trends with Edwin Kwakofi.
You know how much moms always say too much of everything is bad? But there's one too much mom actually approves of. Telecel's Too Much Broadband Bundle. This season, all you have to do is buy the 150 Ghana Cedis Too Much Broadband Bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and get 150% bonus data. That's right.
Simply buy the 150 Ghana Cedis Telecel Too Much Bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and receive 150% bonus data. Dial *900#, use the Telecel Play app or visit the Telecel website to buy now.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Are you ready to revolutionize the future of agriculture? The Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, in partnership with the Ghana Exim Bank, proudly presents the Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026. The fair will feature exhibitions, market linkages, masterclasses, and workshops on climate-smart farming, digital tools, and export development. Join us at the Black Star Square from March 17 to March 19 at 9 a.m. each day. The President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will be assisted by the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, the Honorable Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari, and the Chief Executive of the Ghana Exim Bank, Honorable Sylvester Adina Mensah, to open the fair. Government agencies, agrotech firms, startups, farmers, financial institutions, and the general public are all welcome. To exhibit or for inquiries, call 0559 679326 or 0242 585419. Media partners: Daily Graphic, Media General, Radio Gold, Citi FM, and Channel 1 TV. Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026, transforming agribusiness through local innovation and technology.
Cast your mind back to 2022. The prices were rising. The stress was high. Every liter of fuel felt like a sacrifice. Do you remember who stepped forward first? When others were comfortable with high prices, Star Oil chose you. We cut our own profits so you could keep your AC on. keep your engines running, and keep your life moving without the heavy burden. We gave you room to breathe when things felt tight. Because of you, our star savers, we became number one. Today, the pumps are a battleground. Others are finally cutting prices because they have to. But Star Oil, we do it because we want to. Don't just chase a price, remember a friendship. We were there for you then, and with new innovations coming your way, we are here for you now. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Are you clapping? Are you giving God the glory? Hallelujah! Every day you wake up shouting, my business is not moving. Customers are not coming. But look, my brother, my sister, who are you deceiving? Have you smiled today? Do you have the confidence to smile? Your face alone is chasing people away. Yeah! We all know that the problem is not a spiritual problem. The problem is a dental problem. He was saying, use Pepsodent charcoal toothpaste to remove yellow. Somebody shout amen.
Craft your smile with Pepsodent Charcoal. It removes stains and whitens teeth. This advert is FDA approved.
What are you paying for? A delicious meal at the restaurant? Do it with SG Ghana Visa Card. Buying fuel for your car? Do it with SG Ghana Visa Card. Shopping online or at the mall? When you need to pay, do it with SG Ghana Visa Card. With a large network of merchants and payment points, the SG Ghana Visa Card is your secure and convenient way to get things done in Ghana. You can also use the SG Ghana Visa Card for secure online purchases. Make your life easy and use your SG Ghana Visa Card today. To find out more, call 0302-214-314. That's 0302-214-314.
Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you.
Introducing Yomi Pina Colada and Peach, our newest addition to the Yomi family. Life is full of choices, so here are more Yomi flavors to spoil you for choice. Go on, choose great taste, choose nourishment, choose the new Yomi Yogurt Pina Colada and Peach. And always remember that the choices we make today shape our tomorrow. Yomi, a nourishing choice. Yomi Yogurt Pina Colada and Peach. More quality products from Amigo Ghana Limited. This advert is FDA approved.
Why stress when Jumia has convenience delivered? It's the Ghana Shopping Festival on Jumia, dropping unbeatable deals on everything you love. Fugu! Who said Fugu? Fugu Day, plus plenty deals on fashion, electronics, beauty, phones, Charlie. Your wallet go thank you. Download the Jumia app and enjoy great deals from 2nd to the 15th of March. Sponsors, Icona, Samsung, Asano, and Hikers. Jumia. Freedom unlocked, convenience delivered.
Welcome to your financial tips with Solace Finance. Managing money shouldn't be limited by long queues, banking hours, or travel distances. Digital tools like Solace Finance app provide a digital solution giving you 24/7 access to savings, transfers, bill payments, and multiple wallets linking, all in one platform. With real-time tracking of balances, interest earned, and transactions, you can plan ahead, save consistently, and make smarter financial decisions with confidence. Simplify your finances, stay in control, and let Solace Finance help your money work smarter every day. Download the Solace Finance app today. For more information, call or WhatsApp us on 059-957-7963. Solace Finance. Your money, your power.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show.
Too much trouble, so my brother. Ha, 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 ha. Yes!
right, let me say a quick happy birthday to a great friend of ours, coming in from your wife and the family.
Too much problems on my head, yo. Too much work.
Paul Kofi Mante. Your birthday was over the weekend. And your wife says, God give me a husband and the world receive a man of wisdom. Our children have not just a father, but a shepherd who guides with love and truth. Through your wisdom, many have made sound financial decisions, found financial independence, and many marriages and homes have grown stronger and more peaceful. You bless lives across the nation and beyond. Yet the greatest love you give is to us, your wife and children. I thank God for the gift of your life. Happy birthday, my love, my husband, my friend, my covering. I love you deeply and celebrate you. Cambodia for life. This is coming from Linda Mante to Paul Kofi Mante of EDC.
Just quickly, I think it's the birthday of Mr. Kwesi Chum of the Multimedia Group.
Is it?
Yes, the leader and founder of the Multimedia Group.
Wow.
He's my former boss, and I'd like to wish him the very best. And he's been very influential in
everything we do here,
especially Audrey's leadership of Tekuru, and so we want to wish him the very best during his birthday.
He's my boss's boss as well, or he's my boss's former boss. And once a boss, always a boss. So Kwesi is a legend. I mean, what can we say? In a sense, we are all here because of him, isn't it? In a sense, we are all here because of him. If he didn't start what he started, some of us would be, what would I be doing? I always ask myself what I'd be doing if I wasn't on air. Probably teaching in some university. Yeah. And getting frustrated at the system. And maybe they may call me on air once a week to talk about, hey, Charlie, leading a Luther. All right, now I'm going to go back to the issue on the fuel and what the government should do. Should the government subsidize or allow market forces to work? But let's do some quick announcements.
Yes, we all know that life doesn't wait for payday, whether it's school fees, a business emergency, or waiting for a business partner to say yes. That partner is Blue Financial Services Limited. With the Blue iFinance app, you can get a loan disbursed in less than 4 hours. So don't just survive, thrive with Blue, and download the Blue iFinance app on the Play Store, App Store. Call us on 0303 968 196. WhatsApp us directly 0501 609 958. On our socials, we are at Blue FSGH, Blue Financial Services Trust in Blue. Now, are you an agro-processing equipment manufacturer or a manufacturer in any agri machinery? Do you have any innovation or technology that can improve agro-processing? Then we invite you to come join us and exhibit at the Made in Ghana Agricultural and Agro-Processing Technology Fair, Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026 is organized by the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. We're doing this with Ghana Exim. It's from the 17th to the 19th, 9 a.m. each day. So call us 0242 585419 or 0559 679 326.
So it's 8:22. The big question, as oil crosses the $100 mark for the first time since 2022, what are the options open to the Ghana government? I have Dr. Yusuf Soleimana. He's an energy analyst on the line to help us think through these thoughts. Doc, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Bernard, and thank you for having me. And good morning to your cherished listeners.
So initially, I thought Ghana had two options. Option one of allow the market to determine the price of fuel in Ghana, so that you don't subsidize. But there's another option of people saying subsidize so that you maintain your gains against inflation. And there's somebody also bringing in option 3, sell your crude to Tor and send to at a lower price so that oil prices will not be passed on to fuel buyers at the pump. What are your thoughts on what's happening globally and the choices facing the country?
Yeah, so Bernard, thank you very much. I would say that there's no one fixed solution to that. It is dynamic, and the strategy will depend on how events unfold. As you can see now, we've caused the triple digit. Oil is pricing 100, a little bit above 100, both WTI and Brent. And Bernard, why the global space is on the edge or on tenterhooks is the fact that there's a precedent. This thing. It's not the first thing that has happened or that has hit global energy space. If you quite remember Arab-Israel War in 1973, what they call the Yom Kippur, the famous Yom Kippur War. It was between Arab and Israel. And then what happened was that the Arab nations, they galvanized and stopped supply of crude oil, to the Western nations. And the result of it was that we had huge inflation. In fact, oil prices quadrupled from $3 to $12. And so people who know, people who are aware of this history will never sleep when they see things like this unfolding. And so the strategies that you've mentioned, they are all things that are on the table. First of all, as a proactive ministry headed by Dr. John Jinapo, we already convened the first emergency meeting with the key stakeholders, MPA, BOSS, TOR, and all other Ghana Gas, and then GMPC, and all other players that matter so far as this unfolding event is concerned. And we've already put together some strategies. From the last conversation we had, MPA is to lead that, and we are already aware that we have about 5.3, let's say between 5 to 6 weeks of stock, available nationwide. But we look at this stock that is available. We are looking at what ahead of us beyond that, because nobody knows when this conflict will stop. So beyond that, what are we thinking about? And we have always maintained that you've mentioned TOR and BOST, and the war that I just talked about. It gave out to a global revolution, and the revolution was that the Western nations who were heavily punished, what they sought to do was to deliberately create strategic reserve. It's very expensive, but it's very necessary. So we are gradually doing that. We are gradually bringing TOR, BOST back to their core mandate, and the core mandate of refining locally. TOR itself has a lot of storage capability. I wish we had a lot of storage capability than what we have now. But beyond that, I think it's only TOR and BOST that we can boast of now. But like I mentioned, we are thinking about expanding TOR. We are thinking about building new refineries. We are thinking about increasing this storage capability. So, Bernard, in times like this storage becomes very critical. Like I mentioned, it's quite expensive, but it becomes critical. But long-term wise, Petroleum Hub is on the horizon. New refinery within TOR is on the horizon. These are the things that we can galvanize. And also, we create an enabling environment that's linking the upstream onto the downstream, where GMPC at the point in time will be in the position to be able to supply crude oil to our local refinery on competitive basis, on a nice business arrangement basis. So all these strategies are in place. But short-term wise, Bernard, we are monitoring the market. These are medium to long-term plans. We are monitoring the market. Depending on how the market shifts, especially how it is shifting, then we'll kick in other strategies. But what I'll say quickly is that, Bernard, we are not immediately threatened by supply dependability or supply availability of the products. What we're immediately threatened will be the price. Are we able to maintain the price? That is a big question that we are all looking at. And so we have a lot of strategies, like I mentioned, on the horizon. But first of all, we have to ensure that we maintain the reliability of supply. And I can say that after we did the announcement, we have been very closely working with the MPA, and there's been consistent assurance that beyond even the 5 weeks, we have some ships that are even docked, ready to discharge. And so we can say we can have, let's say, if these ships are discharged, we can have maybe like 10 weeks. But also beyond that, we are opening up linkages with the sub-region, especially Dangote. And Bernard, I will say that Dangote has been a given. It has been godsend at this moment in time. It's within African continent, but what I will say is that Dangote is not pricing. They are told that because they are within Africa or they are within our sub-region, they'll subsidize for us. That's not going to be the case. They are also going to price on the market basis. And so the supply route, I can say that it is something that is certain. It is something that we can guarantee. It is something that we're going to be able to guarantee as long as maybe up to 10 weeks and beyond. Okay. But the hope is that, Bernard, very quickly before I land, the hope is that the only thing that I can see as an expert, that would be a guardway. I mean, that would be a kind of stoppage if the impact within the global space and then the warring factions de-escalating. That is the credible conduit, of course, that will put guards on this bullish rally of oil prices that is currently skyrocketing.
So if I understand you correctly, you're saying that on the long term, the government is putting plans in place to increase both our storage and refinery capacity. in the short term, you are monitoring the price movement, and then you will make a decision as to what to do. This is my understanding of what you said.
Yes, that's correct.
Right. No, hold on. No problem. I want to move from there to ask another question. So, on the first point, by what percentage has BOST storage capacity and TOR's processing capacity improved since you took over?
Yeah, so since we took over, I think the fact that if you look at TOR, the total storage capacity of TOR is about closer to 1 million meter cube. That's about 600,000 barrels, in terms of equivalent oil storage. There hasn't been any, let's say, increase in any tank in terms of new tank that has been built. But there has been repair ongoing that has brought a lot of the tanks back on stream. So for TOR, I can say that we can say closer to, let's say, 20% improvement, because quite a number of the tanks have been brought back on stream. And if all the tanks in TOR can work, then we are talking about between 800 to 900. On maximum basis, you can say 1 million meter cube. That's about 600,000 barrels. 1 million meter cube. That's about, if you multiply by 6, that's about 6 million. Sorry, that's about 6 million barrels of oil per stream day, and that's quite huge. And which can take us for a longer period of time. And this is all based on the fact that if these tanks are available. But Bernard, I can say that not all these tanks are available. The last time I checked, we have about 20% to 30% of these tanks that are not available. But they are considered effort as we speak now. There's a lot of repairs on this tank, and a lot of them, some of them have already been brought back online. So that's number one. Number two, for instance, there has been deliberate attempt to reactivate all the depots. If you notice, over the period, most of the depots were not in active working condition. And I can say that with the current leadership of John Jinapo, I think we've been able to reactivate most of both depots. So yes, actively, most of the infrastructure that were inactive, I can say that we've been able to reactivate that. But going forward, medium to long term, I think we need new structures to come in place. So I would say that maybe 20 to 30% of improved storage capacity has been added to what we have now, Bernard.
And this storage capacity relates to TOR or BOST or both?
Both. Both combined. But TOR has the maximum storage capacity. BOST can only do like 35% of what TOR can do.
No problem.
Yes.
Go on. I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
TOR is a refinery. So my question around TOR was about refining capacity. I understand BOST fine. They have more storage because they store oil in bulk. But has TOR processed any fuel since the administration took over?
Yeah, Bernard. Yes, they did. They did. Just that the way we wanted it to be, it's a good starting point. At least we have been able to test the forces. I mean, over the period, we're told that TOR cannot run. And you remember the whole story about TOR. But I mean, with the hard work of this administration, we've been able to test the forces, and we can see that TOR can come back. I mean, TOR can run. But running is one thing, but the ability to make impact on the market is another.
So is TOR refined? Hold on. You say you did a test refinery.
Yes.
Has TOR been refining since February 2025? Has TOR refined any crude since January 2025?
Yeah, they've been refining. Some refining has been done.
How much oil has been refined since January 2025?
Yeah, so I need to check the details, Bernard, to know how much has been refined. I don't have the details offhand, but what I know is that some refining has been done in TOR.
So when you say when you say TOR is being revamped, is this just in relation to the storage? Because my question is, TOR is a refinery, and we are discussing this because Ghana exports crude oil to international refineries and buys finished product through BDCs. That model is what creates this type of problem, because you have to depend on the Strait of Hormuz or wherever. So if you produce oil, I think the logic is that you refine some of it in Ghana so that you will have enough fuel for your engines and your cars. So if you say Tor is working, you should be able to tell me that since you took over, Tor has refined X amount of crude, and I'm not getting that from you.
Yeah, so the figures, I am not sure. I don't want to quote figures that I cannot defend, as a matter of fact. But I know with the 28,000 that they are doing now, they've almost refined almost 1 million barrels, of crude oil. But like I mentioned, I need to be sure of the figures.
Wonderful. But this crude they are refining, is it coming from the Ghana Jubilee 10 Sankofa fields, or they are importing crude to refine?
Yeah, so Bernard, at the end of the day, in refining, I don't think that we are refining what is coming from Jubilee. I mean, and also we are not bound to refine what is coming from Jubilee. Normally, it's the economics that will dictate. If Tor at the end of the day can get cheaper crude from within the sub-region, we'll be much better off, refining imported crude than the internal crude. So what I would say is that whatever crude that is refined within the refinery is the economy that dictates, especially when we know that, Bernard, let me just land. Ghana crude oil is a premium quality. If you know that when you export this crude, you're going to get much more and buy maybe a cheaper product, a cheaper crude somewhere that we can put into the refinery and refine. That would be much more better. So I can say that we are not getting, what we are refining so far is not coming from, Jubilee field. It's coming on competitive basis where we can source it that can guarantee us a break-even point that we can become, profitable. So the long term that we are targeting is actually to be able to refine crude oil from Ghana. And to do that, we need massive infrastructure upgrade, Bernard.
So hold on. So what I'm hearing from you is that if we can get cheap crude from even Nigeria, we'll take that for now and refine.
Yes.
If we want to refine crude from Jubilee fields, we may have to upgrade our facilities at Tor. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Good. Now, the 1 million that we've refined so far, do you know whether we got it from Nigeria or from the sub-region? Because the reason I'm asking you these questions is that we are discussing geopolitics of the Middle East, right? And we, the people who are not experts in the industry, will say that the logic is, if you have crude at Jubilee, refine it in Tema. You're saying, well, it's not the same because your machines may not be able to refine. But obviously, Nigeria is closer than Iran. So I can assume from what you're saying that if we've refined crude at all in the past few months, that crude we refined ought to have come from somewhere other than the Middle East. Correct?
Yeah, it's possible. After crude, and then let me make a little bit of a correction here. I'm not saying that our machines cannot refine Jubilee crude oil. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that Jubilee crude oil and its quality, if you refine it in our machines, probably will not break even. Especially when we know that, it's a premium quality, when we can export it, get some amount of money, and maybe import that crude oil. The baseline is, what I want to say is that we are looking towards linking up the upstream and then the downstream. And what you are saying, you are perfectly right. Especially when we have geopolitics unfolding like this. You have crude oil and you can't even export it. If you don't have a running refinery, what do? You're going to run. You're going to run to a halt. So our effort is to make sure that Tor would be in a better position to refine Ghana crude and can break even at point in time. And that would require that, like I mentioned, that we may need to add some other equipment. Let's say a desulfurizing unit that can reduce the sulfur content, to match whatever we are importing. And also an isomerization unit, what we call the reformer unit, that can increase the octane number. The CDU that we have now, unfortunately, the run that the CDU can churn out is not that much appreciable. It's not up to 90. And our market, the minimum is 91. So that's the dynamics that I'm talking about. It's not that when I bring Jubilee crude, it cannot be refined in the refinery. It will refine it very well, but at what profit margin? Are you going to break even? So those numbers are very, very important. And so that's why we are deliberately making effort to revamp Tor, not only the turnaround maintenance, but to make sure that we add equipment that we can be able to bring Ghana crude oil to refine it in Tor, and we can boast that, no, we can refine Ghana crude oil in Tor, and then we can even break even at the end of the day, Bernard.
All right. That's very helpful. I'm sure Tor may be able to speak more on the specifics of the numbers, so I'll leave it on that. The question around what to do in the short term still hangs. You've said that you are still monitoring the situation. And so we will have to see. But I feel like we need some clarity on government strategic options. Do you agree that there are at least three options? The option of allowing market forces to determine what we pay ex pump, the option of some subsidy to cushion people, because obviously what is happening in the Middle East will lead to higher ex pump, and then of course the option of refining, which you've spoken about. I just want your comments on that finally.
Yeah, so Bernard, my comment is that all the three options are available, and government is ready to reactivate all the options. And the good thing is, the flip side is, which we don't want anyway, Ghana is also an exporter. We also export crude oil. If crude oil prices are around 100, we're going to have some windfall. We've been working out a strategy to be able to cascade this windfall back to the downstream. Because at the end of the day, long term, whether we like it or not, we have to be able to link this upstream and downstream. We can't continue to operate them as segregated entities and expect to have energy security. We can have that. And I think plans are far advanced, like I mentioned, to make sure that we link up the upstream, which is the GMPC side, and the downstream, which is store and boss side, so that they can be in a position to help each other. So the three options that you talked about, I think NPA is stating that at any point in time that a subsidy is required, they can consider that taking the subsidy. But all the three options are available for our adjustment.
Thank you.
Consideration.
Thank you. Dr. Yusuf Sulemana is an energy analyst with the Ministry of Energy. Let's go to Dr. Rivers Inopong, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the COMAC. COMAC is the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. Doc, thank you so much for speaking to us. Maybe let me start from the OMC side. How concerned you are about where the price of crude is on the international market? I think the last time I checked on Bloomberg, it was 107 or so. Probably changed before we came on air. Where are the OMCs on the price, and how concerned are you about where the price is headed?
Thank you, Bernard. I think from the from the OMC side, indeed, we are the last player as far as the transactional or the commercial transactions concerned. For traders to sell to BDCs to sell to us, and we are the intermediary between every trading arm and the consumer. In all this, we do have a pass-through cost, no doubt. Okay, so whatever price we buy from the BDCs, we will surely sell it at the pumps. But what is very worrying, and I'll say it emphatically, is when there are huge price differentials at the trading level. Okay, we operate in a 2 weeks window pricing and selling windows simultaneously. So this week we have a pricing window which will be ending most likely on Wednesday or Thursday, and the selling window will start from the 16th in the country. Every product that has been imported was imported at the price prior to this war. So when you have BDCs increasing prices to the OMCs, that's to our members, that's very worrying. You know, even though the chamber had predicted, which was a fact, we had predicted 2 to 3% increase of fuel prices already, even before this war. That was fine. But to move from 7 to 9, and this morning I have some of my members complain to me that shall I be selling at 10? Within a selling window, that is not acceptable. Nobody imported crude oil products at the time when this war has started, you know. But this is what we are seeing today. And I'm very happy with the way MPA has been very proactive. Regardless of whatever the government can do to support us, probably taking off some levies or giving us some waivers. This operational or transactional arm also needs to be taken care of. And it's so wrong. We should not be taking advantage of whatever is happening globally to affect our prices within a selling window, which is ending on the 15th of March. So
explain to us the cycle in terms of when do BDCs lift and bring to port, and how soon should what is happening in the Middle East realistically affect their pricing? Because the war started, I think, a week ago, if not.
Yeah. So, Bernard, if you remember very well, you and I, we all know economics very well. You remember very well that this is not the first part of this war. Okay. Last year, when Israel bombed Iran, there was about 3 days price hike, and it did not have any effect on Ghana. It did not have any negative effect on Ghana. And I'll say this because of the way we do our selling and pricing window. As we speak today, BDCs are pricing OMCs against the next window. For this window, we set up from the 1st March to the 15th, had been priced prior to re-entering this particular bi-weekly window. Did you get it? So, if there should be any effect of pricing based on how payment or pricing are made by the IOTCs to the BDCs, it should take effect from the 16th of March. And this is where we see the price going up in the country. But that artificial hauling of product, artificial increase, preferential selling by the BDCs is what we are discussing now. Because it is not organic. It's against the pricing policy we have in this country. And we need to be careful, because otherwise the government can say, I'm taking away this tax, but still our BDCs are going to make things difficult for us.
So which means that the MPA ought to be clear to the BDCs that the attempt to cash in on the war is an unfair market practice.
Correct, Bernard. And that's what MPA is doing. I had a call with, I've had a chat with Abbas and the team, and I believe that we should stop this. Otherwise, we at the OMC's level will be forced to sell, to increase our price this week, which is not the right thing to do.
Good. Now, in terms of strategically Ghana's positioning in this global geopolitics, where do the OMCs... So you buy your oil from BDCs direct, right? Is it possible for you to change some of that with Dangote's coming on stream in Nigeria? The question I'm asking is, of course, the BDCs will live from everywhere, but now that there's a big refinery next door to us, how does that change the economics of OMCs in Ghana in terms of where they buy their finished product from?
All right, so Bernard, that's a very beautiful question. See, no matter where you get a product from, international benchmark prices will prevail. Dangote will not sell to you at a price cheaper than how much he will sell to China or even its own internal market. The advantage you have has to do with your freight cost. All right, your freight cost might be lower than importing from Europe because of distance. All right, so your premium will be lower, no doubt. This is the advantage you have because it's closer to you, and that is why I've kept on saying that we do not envisage any imminent fuel shortage in the country because of where our fuel comes from. Our fuel comes from the western corridors of the energy market and also Dangote. We have been receiving product from Dangote through some IOTCs. Remember that the IOTCs are the traders who trade with the BDCs. All right. So indeed, that arm of the commercial segment is taken care of. However, with price, we are surely going to face it. We cannot run away from the international hikes in terms of pricing that is coming on our way. Unlike somewhere in Pakistan, in India, even in Australia, people are queuing with jerry cans to buy fuel in Australia because they depend solely on the Middle East, whereas we don't. They are affected by availability and affordability, whereas we are going to face affordability issue in the coming days.
Let's talk about strategic choices the government has to make in terms of refining its own crude. This is not I'm asking you this as an energy expert, not based on a position of COMAC. All right. Common sense tells me that if you produce some oil, you should refine some of it in your own country. All right. And I hear people say Tor is working, Tor will work, and that type of thing. But it's taken us years. Why has it been difficult for that to happen? I'm told that Tor is doing some refining, but I'm not even sure if they are refining oil from Jubilee. From the interview I just had before you, and I wonder, is there something I'm missing? Is oil as complicated as you people make it seem? Because for me, it's common sense. You produce some oil. If you want to, if you don't want to be a victim of international wars, refine some of it in your country. It's common sense, right? But it's every day there's a lot of English, and I'm not even sure what they are saying.
Exactly so, Bernard. You see, 2018, I made a paper on this same topic we are discussing. It's so unfortunate that it's only when wars happen that we have this discussion. It should be a continuous discussion until the government does it. You understand? War betides us if Europe says that now their gas prices are going up. So now they're going to use their diesel for power generation. We are doomed. That's the only trigger I'm waiting for to announce that we're going to have shortages of fuel. And until that, we don't have it. But it might be a case. Because Europe is now crying because of gas price. Now see this. You are saying that we have our own crude oil, we produce it. But Bernard, let's face fact. The crude oil you're producing does not belong to you. Face fact.
No, not all of it. Some of it.
It's only 13% that belongs to you from the Jubilee. Now, I did an analysis with we or Tor refining that part that belongs to the country. The economic benefit, the socio-economic impact was enormous. We're just waiting for any government to be bold enough to say that let's have our national assets, or even let's invite public or private entities to set up refineries, expand Tor, and make it work. It is workable. We were here praising Centio for bringing refinery into the country. Instead of getting our own. Fine, Centio is playing a very big role. Today, it's giving us about 20 to 30% of our stocks, which is beautiful. Whereas the biddings are increasing their prices, Centio is not increasing their price because it's an FOB price and it's locally refined. That's the advantage you have in times like this.
Do we know where Centio gets their raw material from?
They get from all over the world, from Nigeria, from okay. Let's leave it here.
No, I'm asking you because
from everywhere.
Yeah, you see, you said we own only 13% of our crude.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's a big question. Why should a country own only 13% of its oil? I mean,
based on the kind of agreement we signed a PSA agreement with a 10% carried interest, and we bought in 3.3%. I would just check.
Does this also apply for? Does this apply for Sankofa and 10, or just for Jubilee? This 13%.
Sankofa might even be lesser than 13.
Okay, even if you own 13%, again, I'm speaking as a commoner. Can't you put in something to say that in critical times like war times, our refineries should be given the first right of refusal to buy the crude from these foreign oil producers before they sell it? I mean, again, that sounds like something reasonable to do, right?
Yeah, no, it's very reasonable to do. Like I said, the economic benefit of it is enormous. In petroleum economics, we call something multiplicator. The multiplicator effect of refining crude oil, as seen in India. India has been allowed by President Trump to go and pick fuel from Russia on a very short-term basis, because India understood the importance of this petroleum economic multiplicator by buying crude oil from everywhere, refining it, and selling the product, and making 8 times the economic value of the raw material. Because, like you said, there's no sense in selling your crude oil as even today at $102 per barrel and importing back petrol and diesel at more than $1,000 per metric ton. Nobody can convince me that this is right. Nobody can. And that is where I was very furious when the president was jubilating over Centio when Tor was down. Tor should be revamped. There should be even allowable increase in capacity for a national refinery for national security purposes. You understand? Because today, as we speak, if there is any Middle East IOC in this country, he would have preferred to refine its product in the country than take it to Middle East where there's war now. Today, very soon, it's going to happen. IOCs would now have no other option than to engage with investors to build refineries in Africa, where they will refine their crude oil in the continent. In that case, Africa can even be a hub for other continents, because our war is tribal war over chieftaincy. It's not like what you are seeing in the Middle East.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we always wait for crisis before we start talking about.
That's what I'm saying. This conversation should not end here. Bernard, let's pick it up. You and I have been talking behind the scene. We should nail it till the government understand that it's important for both the economic importance of the country, and also in times like this. Not only in times like this.
Well, I'll speak to Tor on what they've done, but thank you for your insights, and I look forward to reading that paper if it will help in putting the issues out. Dr. Iverson Opong is the chief executive of COMAC. I think he said something very important, that he doesn't think that the war should affect products which are going to be sold in the next rising window, because those products were procured long before the war. So any attempt by any BDC to sell to OMCs at a certain price on the basis of the war is not going to be a fair market price. Let me do an interview this morning. I'm sort of putting them back to back. I think I have somebody else on the line. So far, I've spoken to Dr. Everybody's a doctor, Charlie. The first one I spoke to is Dr. Yusuf Suleimana, Energy Ministry, Energy Analyst, then Dr. Iverson Opong, COMAC. Now I have Dr. Patrick Kweku Ofori, Chief Executive Officer of the Bulk Oil Chamber, to talk to me. Chamber of Bulk Oil Distribution. Doc, thanks for talking to us. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard.
COMAC says you don't have to charge a higher price for this window than you did for the previous window on the basis of the Middle East crisis, because the products you procured were procured long before the conflict. True or false?
False.
So when did you buy the current products you are selling to OMCs?
So, Bernard, I think Riverson and Abbas contacted me over the weekend about this issue, and then I quickly put a call to the dominant members who have got the product in country. But unfortunately, sometimes you may have the product, and we've had an issue of this nature before. Some of the products may be in, but it may be on what we normally call financial hold. That the IOTC still hold custody of the product, and then you negotiate with them. There are also products that are in, or based on the pricing situation that most of them would go through. Others would maybe say the weekly average or monthly average. Others will also say will trigger the price on a daily basis, so that they also reduce their exposure depending on who has the product and who has the holding certificate for the product in country. So when it happened like that, but unfortunately, most of the big guns who do what we normally call tender, when they've done their tender for the product that they will need for the window already, and then they are the ones calling our members that, oh, we've seen that the situation is going ahead, and that once the situation is going ahead, can we get more product for the previous tender that they have already closed on? And we all work in an industry that is very small. And yesterday we all are trying as much as possible to reduce the burden on the consumer. I happened to be in a meeting with one of the main OMCs, that their colleagues were calling him that he should go up so that the rest of them can go up, because he controls a chunk of the market share, and also it's more or less has a strong relationship with us.
Let me understand. Let me understand what you're saying. You're saying that even though the International Oil Trading Company may have sold a product to a BDC at a certain price which is prior to the war, because maybe you have not made payment for the product, they still have control over the product they've sold to you, and they can decide to raise the price because of the war, even though you bought it from them before the war. Is that what you're saying?
No. What I'm trying to say is that with the trading, they have something they call trigger. I've provided the product to you. You've gotten the lake, and I've provided the product to you. Some will say that for maybe 30% of the consignment that you've brought to me, I want to pay on what we call weekly average. So they will look at the whole week, the pricing, and then they use it to pay. And then they say that maybe the chunk of the product, I don't want to expose myself too much. So what I want to do is, on a daily basis, as the flat price are shown, that is how much I want to pay you. So when you go in for those triggers and you've already signed in, you may have the product in country, but as you trigger the price on the day, is the pricing on the international market on that day, that is how much you are buying it for. And then also, you may have the product in country, but because you've not been able to pay the product that they've supplied to you previously, because the chunk of the market relies on what we call credit. You say that I have the product and these products are on financial hold unless you pay the ones that we supply to you. So the moment the products are on financial hold and you are coming in today to buy it, he's not going to sell to you the same price. He is using the day's price, or if your agreement says it's a weekly average, then you go and pay the weekly average.
But this, I get it. But this weekly pricing thing doesn't affect all, because let's assume there are 10 BDCs. I'm sure there are some of you who have already bought and paid for this coming pricing Windows products, and the price that you paid was much lower than what the international oil price is saying. So that even if there's a percentage of your members who are affected by what you've described, that percentage shouldn't be 50%. It should be lower, correct?
Your question again.
I'm saying that what you've described may be true, but does not apply to all your members, because they all have different arrangements with the international oil trading companies.
Basically, is they run the same. Other than that, your exposure will be too much that you will not be competitive.
No, because your colleague is telling me that from all he knows about how you work, there's no reason to say that the price that you are selling the finished product to the OMC should be reflected by the current crisis, because the transaction was completed before the war started.
So what my colleague is failing to admit is that if the argument that he's making is to hold, then it means all the transactions that happen in that window that they have taken custody of the product, they should be waiting to be negotiating for the next window pricing.
So?
But do you get a point that I'm making?
No, I don't. For me, I don't want to complicate issues. It's like, you see, yeah. I know every industry has its technicalities, but we don't want to make it complex. Yeah. There's a war in the Middle East, and that war obviously has increased the price of crude to its highest level since 2022. We understand this. And we know that eventually, if the war continues, the price that BDCs will lift or buy their finished products will be higher. Nobody's arguing with that. What I am concerned about is this coming pricing window of 16th March, which products you have already procured prior to the war. Now you're saying that because of the way payments are spread out and because of arrangements with IOTs, some of the BDCs may not have had full custody of the finished product and therefore may pay a higher price. And I'm saying, even if that is true, that doesn't apply to all the BDCs. And you are failing to admit that.
Oh, no. That was why so it may not necessarily apply to all of them. But you check the product, those who hold the product in custody, they normally wouldn't want to also expose themselves so much in that sense. But Bernard, what I want to use this opportunity
expose themselves how? You've sold a product as an international oil trading company to a bulk distributor. You have a relationship for over 10 years. He's not failed in paying. So I don't understand what you're saying. Is it that you know that some of your members want to charge a higher price, which is why you're having difficulty in sort of telling me?
Not at all. Not at all, because as I'm speaking to you, some of almost all our members who hold a chunk of the product have even asked me to meet the minister for us to arrange and see how best they can cushion them. But what they also don't want a situation whereby the OMCs take advantage of the Ghanaian people. So most of them are willing to rather do swap with GOI because they know when GOI gets the product and GOI is not cheating the final consumer. Because the cause that I was saying, the meeting that we're in, is that we're trying to secure and find a way that we know that we meet the government halfway to ensure that we can source the next batch of product coming in. At the same time, ensure that when the product gets to the OMCs, they want to lock in the product now. It will take about 5 or so days to hit the filling station. That 5 or so days in that marketing window, they are never going to sell to you at the prevailing price that they bought to us.
Well, the OMC rep is telling me that they don't expect to do that, which is why he is saying that if there's anybody who is going to try and cash in, is you guys. Because I just spoke to Riverson. I don't know if you listen. And
I'm also telling you. So if I just didn't want to mention him, but I can confidently tell you that we want a situation whereby at least government business will go on. I personally called Abbas, and I have also requested to meet the minister or some of our members who have the product to ensure that whatever it takes to ensure that nobody takes advantage of the consumer is what we're going to do.
So are you committing that your members will not try to sell at a higher price than they procured the product?
I can confidently say so because like I'll say, like I keep on repeating, most of our members have even come up with a solution for us to meet the minister tonight and propose ways to ensure that nobody gets taken advantage of.
We'll leave it here. Thank you for talking to us. This is
Thank you very much.
Breakfast Show. That was the Chief Executive of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Producers, Dr. Patrick Kweku Ofori. If I speak to another doctor this morning, it means I probably have to go and learn more because everybody I'm speaking to is a doctor something. So, look, guys, I feel like we are making some progress here. I still think Tor has some questions to answer, and if I get them, I'll be happy to talk to them. But Comac was very clear in the where they place the responsibility, and also BDCs are actually explaining themselves. Caleb, let me take some announcements from you,
right? And
then I'll see if I can get Tor to wrap up this segment. Later in the morning, I'm speaking to Kweku Dankwa, creation of the African personality, the influence of Ghana Heritage Honors Series, day 1 of our second week.
So your business deserves every chance to grow, and Zenith Bank is here to make it happen. Open a Zenith SME account today and unlock powerful solutions designed to fuel business growth. Also enjoy the perks of the Zenith SME business card designed to help you manage businesses and spend and make secure payments for goods and services. With Zenith SME business card, you will enjoy free customized digital SME trainings, free marketing toolkit, among others, plus 24/7 access to funds. So give your business the boost it deserves. Open a Zenith SME business account today and sign up for a Zenith SME business card. For more information, zenithbank.com.gh is where to visit. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Now, growth is not just about becoming bigger, it's about becoming better. At First Atlantic Bank, integrity has always guided us, and our customers always come first. We stay agile in a changing world, resilient in every challenge, and committed to excellence in everything we do. Today, that commitment takes a bold new form. First Atlantic Bank is now a PLC listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Becoming a PLC strengthens our accountability, deepens our credibility, and positions positions us to serve families, businesses, and communities even better. First Atlantic Bank, now a First Atlantic Bank PLC, is more than a new status. It's a promise to lead with eye care, integrity, customer-centric, agility, resilience, excellence. First Atlantic Bank PLC, refreshingly different. People are winning big on 590 mobile just by dialing *959# and here's how to do it. So the NLA has increased the playing time of your favorite 590 mobile from Monday to Saturday. Noon rush starts from 8:30 p.m. and closes at 1:25 p.m. the next day, while the evening draw starts at 1:30 p.m. and closes at exactly 7:55 p.m. But note that Sunday Asida remains the same. Catch all your favorite 590 evening live draws from Monday special to Sunday Asida on GTV broadcast from 8 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. Always remember to stake responsibly. It's not for persons below 18 years. 0308 249 477 is the number to call. 590 mobile at Davonsem. And Ghana Exim Bank is 10 years old. The bank is hosting an international conference on the theme, A Decade of Enabling Export Trade and Industrial Transformation, Resetting Exim for the Next Frontier. It's happening from the 25th to 26th of this month at Kempinski, 8 a.m. each day. President Mahama will open the conference. Is hosted by the Chief Executive, Honorable Sylvester Edinam Mensah. So call 020-8541-480 for enquiries. eximbankghana.com/conference is how to register. Media partners are Daily Graphic, Media General, Citi FM, Radio Go, Channel 1 TV, and Multimedia Group. Knowledge partners are IFC and SME Finance Forum. In today's connected world, technology is not a convenience, it's critical. So don't get caught in a bend when your smart device fails. Tech Therapy Limited is your one-stop solution for smart device repair. Visit us for solutions you can trust. No guesswork. 050-578-9096 is the number to call. Our socials is Tech Therapy GH and our website techtherapy.africa. 24 Garden Road, East Legon, near ANC Mall. That's where to find us. Tech Therapy, your digital wellness partner.
All right, the Office of the Registrar of Companies is announcing a very important thing to Ghanaian businesses, reminding all registered companies and business owners in Ghana to file their returns and renew their business names and partnerships by Thursday, April 30. Failure to file no returns with financial statements will make a company non-compliant and may attract penalties ranging from 1,000 cedis to 2,000 cedis, depending on the number of years in default. Business names that are not renewed may also lapse and be removed from the official register. Avoid penalties. File your annual returns and renew your business name before April 30. Call the ORC on 0308 249 841 or WhatsApp 0599 525 774.
So this is to all business owners. If you're troubled by your energy bills, apply for the Energy Smart Business Program to benefit from free expert energy audit for your business, tailored energy savings plan, hands-on energy management training, and more. Here's where to visit: agiECS.com/ESB. Read more there and apply. 0507 977 902. Call that number now for enquiries. The Energy Smart Business Program is an initiative of the Association of Ghana Industries Energy Service Center with support from the World Bank. So this Ramadan, Nescafe invites you on a journey of warmth, gratitude, and giving. For 30 days, discover 30 delightful ways to enjoy your favorite Nescafe. From delicious twists to perfect pairings, each day offers a new way to experience the joy and richness of Nescafe. Whether at Suho or Iftar, enjoy the warmth of togetherness with loved ones and our specially crafted coffee recipes. Learn more by visiting our website. Nescafe family wishes you Ramadan Kareem. And after receiving hundreds of nominations for the Channel 1 Community Legends from communities across the country, the search for the most deserving and heartwarming stories are underway. Every entry is being carefully reviewed as we identify stories that truly inspire and create impact. Get ready for the exciting reveal and grand celebration of the 10 Channel 1 Community Legends only on Channel 1 TV and Citi FM.
30 minutes past 9. Coming up shortly is our on-air series for Heritage Month. This is our second week. My guest, Kwekuda Krankra. Here are some reactions to the interviews. So, because we haven't even had a discussion today, just been interviews.
Let me just read them for you. Bernard, can't we link up with Dangote to solve this oil problem? Can't we? Answer the question.
Has Nigeria linked up with Dangote to solve their problem?
Okay. Jesse from Sakumono says, guys, I'm against any subsidy. The government promised during the introduction of the 1 Ghana Cedi levy on a liter of fuel that should the prices start inching upwards, the levy will be withdrawn. They should withdraw the levy and use the reserves to shore up the city to maintain prices. This will bring relief to the citizens.
Repeat that.
I wish them well.
I like that one.
Jesse says, I'm against any subsidy. The government promised during the introduction of the 1 Ghana Cedi levy on a liter of fuel that should the prices start inching upwards, the levy will be withdrawn. They should withdraw the levy and use their reserves to shore up the city to maintain prices. This will bring relief to the citizens. I wish them well.
Okay.
Hi, CBS. Sounds like the spokesperson's answers really rubbed me the wrong way. It's a classic case of resource mismanagement, isn't it? Ghana produces crude oil but lacks refining capacity, so they export it and import refined products. Doesn't add up, right? The government's slow response to this issue is mind-boggling. Now, with the Iran conflict impacting fuel prices, they are scrambling for solutions. You'd think they'd plan better, considering Ghana's oil production. Do you think the government will finally address the refining capacity issue, Bernard, or just keep applying band-aids? It's a question he's leaving you with. A few more, if you can help me, Todd. Good morning, Bernard and team. Have you noticed the recent, okay, this is a different one. Have you noticed the recent surge in power outages? It's become quite frequent, and there's been little to no communication from ECG regarding what may be causing these interruptions. The lights keep going off at unexpected times, and it's becoming one too many. This is Christopher from Lakeside sending this in.
All right, so what are your thoughts on what we've been discussing so far? I'll take a few minutes and then I see where we stand. Starting with you.
I'm confused though.
You are confused. If with all your degrees you are confused.
I'm confused, Bernard. No, I just don't understand why we keep getting back to this point. We've spoken time and time again about our difficulty to get TOR to function the way it's supposed to function. In fact, we sat here and allowed TOR to get a competitor directly opposite its gate to further render TOR opened up and took basically everybody who works at TOR over there. What are we doing? What are we doing?
They said, but you know, Fred, I don't know. Have they revived TOR, or they are reviving TOR, or they revive TOR? They are reviving.
Look, the TOR revival, it has taken 30 years and it's still ongoing.
It would really be nice to hear from them, because I feel like they see. They see this. Me, I don't want to judge a person.
They have some inner feeling.
I don't want to judge a person before hearing them.
Yes.
Because having gone there to see what they are doing, it will be good for them to tell us that in the face of the crisis in the Middle East, this is what we've done since February 2025. Then we can understand. The man I interviewed said they have expanded their tank storage. And I don't, store it's not a tank
But
farm.
your question was not even about storage.
At all. TOR is supposed to refine. And he said they have done some refining. I couldn't give him the figure.
He can't.
Yeah, but it does, because it doesn't work for TOR. But my point is that TOR has people who are paid as spokespersons.
But
at the time, Fred, hold on. See, this is my challenge with Ghanaians. There are many days you can keep quiet. Okay, but now we are having a Middle East crisis. You are the country's oil refinery.
The problem is coming.
This is the time where you earn your salary and say, since February 2023, these are the things we've done. Because the president is referencing TOR in the State of the Nation address.
Yeah.
Do you get it? But he didn't give details, which he may not have to. You are the guy at TOR. Come and tell us that, okay, since we took over, this was the state of TOR. X number of this. We've bought this from here. We've refined. And the whole thing is just up and down. I don't really sure what they are doing. To say, and you see, the reason that in the past few years, we've always had administrations say they've revived TOR. Eventually, that revival doesn't last. You get it? So
that is if it's a revival.
Yeah, because revival in Christianity has to take a long time. But revival they can do a 1 week revival.
Revive me.
So, just quickly for me, I think the texter who raises the concern about the loud silence of the government as to what it is doing in the midst of this crisis in the Middle East is just spot on. Okay, I think we are even having a part of the conversation, which is the impact on the prices and supply of fuel products. We've not gone to have a broader conversation about the impact on commerce, on importers and exporters.
Yep.
So I think that we need to hear the plan, whether it's an issue of subsidy or you want to wait out market forces, or as the other texter rightly said, make use of the 1 cedi levy. We need to hear those from the government clearly, what the strategy is, okay? And I'll bring in the regulator of the industry, okay? I agree with NPA. I agree with Godfred when he says that we are he's confused. This industry tends not to be very open or transparent, and so and also largely because of how technical the industry is, but it's also not very transparent, and there's very little the public gets to know and understand about the industry. I think a strict intervention, okay, some kind of strict communication and intervention is required to avert the possibility of what I believe is a common practice, okay? Something has happened in another country, so immediately we are going to increase prices here. It will not make sense that in anticipation of the next pricing window, which is on the 16th of March, we are saying that goods that are cargo that is on route or is already here, the price should alter. I don't think in the normal course of dealing that should happen. And so I think that there should be a certain intervention from the MPA, clear and strict in its language and in its enforcement. And there should be sanctions, okay, maybe justifications and sanctions if we see any alterations in the prices. That's alterations upwards. And not just for the BDCs, but also for the OMCs.
You didn't understand the BDC's explanation.
Let me read something from somebody who works in the space. It says, Bernard, every trader wants to maximize returns. The war is an opportunity to do so. OMCs foresee a price increase in the next window, so they want to buy cheap now and sell at a higher price. The BDCs have a different pricing mechanism to limit exposure. Products imported may not be sold to the BDCs. These products are awaiting price confirmation based on the reference period. Already priced products will earn higher profits than usual in the next window. Hence, hoarding by BDCs and the OMCs want to share. Hence, hoarding by BDCs and the OMCs want to share in the profit. So BDC and OMC.
Well, we had the.
So that's why the NPA must step up.
If the OMCs had wanted to do that, their chief executive wouldn't have been so clear
on it. But we'll
in
see.
the way he spoke about the. He says he doesn't think anybody should charge anybody a higher price for the 16th March pricing window. If we were prepared to do any collusion, we wouldn't have said this live on air. For which reason we put the BDC guy on the spot. Yes. I think that transparency is important. Yes. I think the MPA, both of you are right, should be more frontal. They were interested in intervening in some price floor for consumers. They should be very, very concerned about what the BDCs are doing at this stage. And they should not be silent in this. But of course, Abbas has been talking about the global oil price situation. But I think the MPA as an organization needs to state clearly how it sees the pricing window coming and the prices it expects the BDCs to sell to the OMCs, so that we don't get cheated in this current pricing window. Let me take a break. When I come back, I will take you into our on-air series for the Heritage Month. We are entering week 2. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Improve your gum and oral health with the new Nesta mouthwash from Ernest Chemists Limited. Nesta mouthwash comes in original and fresh mint for the treatment of bleeding or irritated gums, mouth ulcers, maintenance of oral hygiene, prevention of bad breath and plaque. Nesta mouthwash, great oral hygiene, long-lasting freshness. Available in pharmacies nationwide. Manufactured and distributed by Ernest Chemists Limited.
When factories rise, we protect them. When businesses grow, we guard their future. When families invest in what matters most, we secure their dreams. For over 60 years, SIC Insurance has been Ghana's shield, built on integrity, reliability, and care. From motor to fire, accidents to travel, marine and more. Whatever you value, insure it with confidence. Insure it with care. Insure it with SIC Insurance, because at the heart of every policy is a sacred promise to care, to deliver, to be there when it matters most. Call 0800 100 055 or talk to a broker or licensed agent today. SIC Insurance. Our promises are sacred.
Energy and reconnect with your roots this March at the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2026. Join us for a celebration of Ghanaian culture and cuisine from all across the country. Northern, Akan, and Southern villages will all be represented. It's more than just food. It's about culture, family, and memories that last a lifetime. Let's come together this March to discover the flavors that make us who we are. The date is 28th and 29th of March 2026. Venue is the for Sutherland Children's Park. The time is 10 a.m. through till 6 p.m. each day. Interested vendors can register by calling 0205-973-973. The Back to Your Village Food Festival is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM.
Kuma has always dreamt of commanding his own military forces.
Attention! Eyes right, stand at ease.
Because that dream is still a vision in progress, he spends his time commanding his money with the EcoBank mobile app.
Operation Supplier Payment. Dispatch 1,000 units of currency from Accra to Benin. Move! Move!
Sometimes he wants a little extra control so that he can buy only what he needs.
Command Center mobile app. Activate virtual card protocol and initiate payments for sneakers and t-shirts. Abort mission for leather coat payment.
Even when the general is fast asleep, his standing order marches out to sort his bills. With the EcoBank mobile app, you can command your money to make safe transactions in Ghana and across 33 African countries. Download the EcoBank mobile app on the Play or App Store today.
By the left, about turn.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. EcoBank will never call or send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
This Easter, as homes fill with laughter, shared meals, and love, pause for a moment and remember a child who has no one to celebrate with. Across Ghana, children in selected orphanages are hoping for care, hoping for comfort, hoping for kindness. You can be the reason a child smiles this Easter. Support the Easter Orphan Project 2026. Your donation in cash or in kind will provide warm meals, clothing, school supplies, and essential care for their well-being. Send your mobile money donation to 0550-900-006 or write a check in the name of the Citi FM Foundation. You may also bring your donation to Channel 1 TV in Tesano, Accra, Ghana. You can donate milk, sugar, rice, toys, books, or detergent. For more information, visit www.citynewsroom.com or call 0550-900-006 or 0302-226-013. The Easter Orphan Project comes off on Monday, 6 April 2026 and is powered by 97.3 Citi FM with support from Channel 1 TV. This Easter, let your kindness light up a child's life.
The Citi Breakfast Show.
So welcome to our Heritage Month on Air series here on Channel 1 Television and 97.3 Citi FM. On the series, we bring you various aspects of our history as a people. And our focus this season is on the influence of Ghana on other Africans in creating the African personality. My name is Bernard Able. I'll be hosting your historian, my historian, Kweku Dakwankra. Stay with us.
Ago.
Welcome back. So the Heritage Month on Air series this season is focusing on the role of Ghana in shaping the African personality for a number of countries. We recall Nkrumah in his famous speech spoke about the new African in the world and obviously spoke about the African personality. But how influential has Ghana been in raising other respected Africans within this conversation? Kweku, thanks for joining us again on 2026 Heritage Month.
Thank you.
It's good to have you. How are you?
I'm fine.
Wonderful. I think it's a good time to talk about this because our president in the past month traveled to Zambia and he visited Kenneth Kaunde's tombstone. And clearly Ghana is respected globally. But Lester, what do you mean by the African personality?
Yeah, so the African personality is the idea of people living in tandem with the African values and culture. That wherever they go, they should exude that Africanness. The way we dress, the way we speak, our philosophical thoughts based on proverbs, based on some folklores, and all those social values that we sort of exude in our communities. These are values that are different from what is the European or what is Asian or what is even American. So every race is known for their specific way of thinking. That ontological basis of their being is something that is supposed to be shown. So when we talk about African personality, that is the kind of ideas you espouse, the way you conduct yourself, the way you dress, the way you speak, and to show respect to that Africanness.
So which Ghanaians would you say were key in defining this African personality?
So the African personalities idea, first and foremost, started somewhere in the 1890s by a movement called Gonfanti movement. This was a radical wing of the Aborigines Right Protection Society. They were people who believe in African ideas. So they came out with the notion of return to nativity. And this is clearly seen in the work of Samuel Richard Buato Auma in his work on African or Gold Coast consciousness. If you read Gold Coast consciousness, he talks about the philosophical thought of the African, their value system, and the way the African personality ought to behave, different from what he described as colonial subject, which has been trained with Western ideas and values to prove himself as fit for the British Empire. And the argument is that people should move back to the way of doing things in their African way rather than fully graduate to become that colonial subject that the British want them to be. So this led to a lot of contestation. And out of it, the return to nativity came the name changing. So the Africans with European names started changing their names back into African names. So you see Anaman changing his back name to Anamoa. Okay, you see somebody called Danso changing Danson or something, changing his name back. You see someone with any other European name trying to bring it back
so
to its African. So Blankson will become Kuntu and all those kind of things. So that is how it started. Then they also, Kinsley Hayford, in his native Gold Coast Native Affair, tried to also argue that the African traditional system or institutions of governance are themselves also organic to the African people, and it has served them so well for centuries, and there is no need to push it away, and that it can be run concurrently with the governance of the Europeans. And this is what he pleaded with the British in the Gold Coast Native Institution. We see Saba also coming out with the Fanti Customary Law, which he talks about the legal systems of the accounts in general, and using the Fanti courts examples to establish that even before the Europeans came, the Africans have their own legal systems, their own native court systems, which they use to churn out, to deliver, to bring the justice delivery to the people. So if you read the Gold Coast Native Institutions, some of the ideas which we thought are European were already within the concept of African society. Some will make a typical example with the principles of odi otter patem, that is listening to the other side. The reason why when you go to court, the other side must be given opportunity to explain himself from the accusation. He used the case of Edumedu case, where this man, Edumedu Ansa, was a Fanti guy who introduced drink, that is palm wine, and he brought it to his father, who was a chief. And his father drank the palm wine for the first time, and he got drunk and slept for a very long time. When the people in the community came and found him that he has slept for a very long time, they thought he was dead. So they took his son Edumedu, who has brought him his father the drink, which they thought is poison, and then they killed him. After killing him, the chief wake up from his stupor, and they said, "Where is my son?" And the people explain that, we thought your son has given a poison, and as a result, we killed him. And this idea brought the principles of listening to the other side. So when the Fantis are speaking about listening to the other side, which is, we see it as a Western idea of odi otter patam, they said, "Edu again fantifu vivi, but fantifu kumno, fantifu kuno, the So these are some of the things that he didn't do his father anything, but they just killed him without listening to the other side, simply because he gave his father a drink. So this idea shows you that the Africans themselves have their own. When it comes to wills, we have our will system in Africa a long time ago. We call it Nsamanaso, the oath of the dead. These things are all there. So the idea of justice delivery and laws were already embedded in African society long before the coming of the Europeans.
So you've mentioned Atu Anamwa, Kinsley Hayford.
Yeah.
You've mentioned Saba.
Yeah.
So at what point did people like Kwame Nkrumah start talking about this? Because, of course, in the independence speech, you mentioned the African personality as well. And, of course, when we looked at the independence picture, Bedema and Kinsley Hayford and all those who were with him were dressed in a deliberate way. So after Saba, how were the ideas handed down, and how did that idea transform?
So that idea was organic with the African personality. So when they came out with the idea of return to nativity, in the Aboriginal Rights Protection Society's conference in Cape Coast in 1912, all the leaders of the society wore African dress for the 1 week of their conference. So there's a picture of Kinsley Hayford in Kente with a typical Fanti or Brempong headscarf. You see it. We will show it in the video and so on. Saba himself also put away his European coats and started wearing African cloth. And so were many other members of the society. So this was passed on to the generation of Africans who followed them. So what Nkrumah was doing was a reiteration of what has already been organic, which is the Pan-Africanist idea, which was not received from the African Americans, but was something that was homegrown from the Africans themselves. And this, you could see it from SRB Atahume's book, Gold Coast Consciousness. It is there.
This is the Heritage Month on Air series, and we're bringing you a discussion around the role Ghana played in developing the African personality. Now, I think we need to talk also about the influence of Ghana in liberation movements, because we do know that apart from Egypt, Sudan, and of course Ethiopia, and to an extent Liberia, which were not colonized, Egypt and Sudan, Ghana was the first African country, sub-Sahara, to gain independence. Now, to what extent did that also influence the creation of the African personality within other countries yet to be independent?
Thank you very much. So, if you look at the history of the Gold Coast or Ghana, you realize that right from the 1860s, people from other African countries came here to trade or even become lawyers. So, if you look at the first 7 self-taught Gold Coast lawyers, you have Finlayson, who was from Jamaica, you have Spilbury, and then T.A. Ward, who were from Sierra Leone, who were also here. From the period of 1879, we saw Christopher Alexander Shapara Williams, who was the first Nigerian to become a lawyer, also practicing law in Cape Coast. Even there, he married a Gold Coaster by name Anna Hutchison. And then other Nigerians afterwards, including Sierra Leoneans, also came to live in Ghana, and now they have their families. So if you look at the name like Benjamin Heffron, the original Benjamin was a Nigerian who came to marry a Fanti woman, Heffron, and the children he born them were the Benjamin Heffrons of today. So the argument is that other Africans have been coming here to the Gold Coast. Fast forward, if you move to 1930s, 1920s, 1930s, we have Nnamdi Azikiwe of Nigeria coming to Ghana to start journalism with African Pilot, African Morning Post, which was owned by Okansi. And he was the editor of that newspaper, would introduce radical journalism as well as radical nationalist movement ideals. The way he attacked the colonial pillars of the, imperialism and colonialism in his articles even caused him to be sort of deported back home to Nigeria, because he was actually infusing the ideals of hardcore nationalist ideas to the people. And as a result, he went away. And Nnamdi Azikiwe learned a lot of ways of fighting nationalism in the Gold Coast, which he introduced in Nigeria. That made him outstanding, particularly the idea of using the media as a tool in fighting against colonialism. So when he went to Nigeria, Zinc established a series of newspapers and he started using it to attack. That is how Ghana has contributed towards Nigerian way of fighting against colonialism.
So even though Zinc came to start the newspaper here, his sojourn here in the 30s also helped him frame ideas around how to do it in Nigeria.
Absolutely. He didn't even come to establish newspaper. He came to work
for the
Okansi's own newspaper. And as a result, because of his radicalism, he was deported for writing stuff that the colonial administration believed to be defamatory about the government. Because he tried to say that the African God, whom they blame, will not do some of the wicked things that the Europeans' God is making them do. And this satire sort of article was really skating on the personality of the colonial establishment. So they didn't like him. Apart from him, other leaders from other countries have also later come to Africa. And this started with Nkrumah. When Nkrumah entered into the fray and started espousing the ideas of Pan-Africanism and independence for all other African countries, Ghana became a crucible or a space for all other Pan-Africanist or independent advocates in various countries to come. So all the anti-colonialists emerged in Accra and started to learn from the way Ghana has done it to achieve their independence. And Nkrumah did not only end there with a speech, but he also gave financial support, educational support to these people to change their ways of doing this. So some of them, like Robert Mugabe, will be having opportunity of studying at Kwame Nkrumah Ideological College and so on. What I'm trying to say is that because of Nkrumah's idea, certain personalities who came here were able to go back. For example, Joshua Nkomo, who is seen as the father of Zimbabwe, was the first person to come to the Gold Coast from the old Rhodesia, now called Zimbabwe, to come and learn about Pan-Africanist ideals and also the way of fighting against imperialism and colonialism in his country. So there are pictures of him where he was a man who was known for his enjoyment, and all the time Pan-Africanists will see him gathered at Lidu night club, and he will be there hobnobbing with other Pan-Africanists from other countries as well as freedom fighters. And there's a picture of him with Mayo Angelo, who is the famous poet from America, who was then teaching at University of Ghana. There's a picture of him and her where they were in the nightclub at Lidu enjoying themselves. Apart from that, we also have a leader from the Gambia, which is Dawda Jawara.
We'll take a pause on that and bring you a quick overview of what we've done so far. We've been talking about the role of Ghana in the African personality creation, with histories traveling all through to the pre-19th century. My guest is Kuku Dakwanka. When we come back, we'll talk about Gambia and other countries whose leaders have been influenced by this idea of the African personality that Ghana stood for. Stay with us.
Ago. Ago.
This is still the Heritage Month On Air series coming to you on Channel 1 Television and 97.3 CDFM. My name is Bernard Avle. My guest, Kwekuda Akwankra, our historian who's helping us appreciate a number of issues. Today, we're focused on the role of Ghana in the African personality. So we've learned about Joshua Nkomo and also the fact that Mugabe's first wife, Sally, was a Ghanaian. Now, you mentioned Gambia as well. So what was the impact of Ghana on the Gambia?
So on the Gambia, we have Dawda Jawara. He came to school in Achimota.
Okay.
And in those days, he had the opportunity of meeting the young African freedom fighters. And there, the ideals of how the Ghanaians were using their knowledge as well as their indigenous systems and then the Western form of governance attacks. He became so imbued with it, despite he becoming a doctor, medical doctor in his work and so on. When he went back home, he realized that politics was not just meant for the politicians alone, but in the Ghanaian experiment, both doctors and then lawyers and journalists collaborate in the anti-colonial fight. And so when he went back, it was not like the space which has been appropriated by the Gambian lawyers and they were pushing for the independence agenda. He also entered the fray. And he was very lucky because back in the Gold Coast, he have seen the first medical doctor in Gold Coast, who is called Dr. Benjamin Kotek Boy Fatmafio. For instance, he became the president of Aboriginal Right Protection Society in Greater Accra. Okay, you have the third medical doctor, who is Dr. Frederick Nanka Bruce. He was also highly involved in the nationalism agenda. And when Jawula was a student at Achimota, Nanka Bruce was the leader of the Ratepayers Association. Okay, and he was standing for elections in Accra, which he won to become the municipal member of Greater Accra, representing the Gold Coast Legislative Assembly. The second Gold Coaster to become a medical doctor, who later that guy also went and trained and became a lawyer. Hayford, for example, Ernest Hayford, for example, was also involved in the idea of AIPRC, which is Aboriginal Protection Society, where he was the one who molded the idea of the economic policy as well as the health development policy for the organization. So in Gold Coast, people who came like Jawara was able to learn from the works that people like that have got themselves involved in the politics. So when he went back home, then he became the sole medical doctor who would then enter into the Gambian nationalism agenda. And so that is how Ghana, Jawara coming to study in Ghana, actually shaped his mind and the ideas of how to fight nationalism, that you need not to become only a lawyer or a journalist before you can participate. But whatever knowledge you have, you can use it to help in the anti-colonial struggle.
What about places like Malawi and Zambia?
So in Malawi, we have Hastings Kamuzu Banda, their first president. He also came to Gold Coast to learn about the ideals of the Ghanaian independence struggles and how he could replicate it back home. So he came to Ghana, worked here, and established his hospital at Kumasi. So in Malawi, there was a propaganda that he is not even a Malawian, but he's a Ghana he was from Ghana, town called Banda, which his opponents were using against him back home in Malawi.
Wow.
But the truth is that he was a true Malawian, and he came to Kumasi to establish his medical practice and participated even in the CPP government. He was also a student of Kwame Nkrumah Ideological College. And as a result, when they were putting out the idea for Infantoman Girls Secondary School, he was the member of the governing board.
Wow.
With late Padmo. They were all members of that committee that will later draw out the plan for the formation of Infantoman Girls.
Wow.
So this is the roles they played. So they were not just passerbys in Ghana. They were active participants in some of our policies. And so they learn. So someone like Hastings Kamuzu Banda, when he went back, he used the Kwame Nkrumah's ideas, including the young pioneer ideas and how he recruited the youth of the country to participate fully in that anti-colonial struggle in Malawi.
What about Zambia? Because I know President Mahama went to Zambia a few weeks ago and obviously paid tribute to Kenneth Kaunda. Would you say there was a direct impact there?
Yes, so there was a direct impact in the Zambia too. What it is that back in the days, those countries were all joined together as Rhodesia. So in those times, the ideas of the anti-colonial struggle was something that they all learned from each other because they used to be one people, North and South Rhodesia. So at first they were Rhodesia before the division came.
Named after Cecil Rhodes.
Yes, Cecil Rhodes, the man who got all the resources and sent it back to England to create the Rhodes Scholarship, which he claimed Africans should benefit. After all, it is our resources. So what it is that the people in the Zambia, they had opportunity of studying the Ghanaian ideals. So if you look at All African People's Conference, Kenneth Kaunda was in Ghana. And they were all in awe of Nkrumah's ideals. And so Kenneth Kaunda, for instance, studied Nkrumah's strategies and so on. And there are pictures of him coming to the All African People's Conference wearing the African personality dresses. And went back home. So if you look at the Zambian themselves, they also tried to create their own African dress. Unfortunately, they copied blindly. So if you look at the skirt they wear, do you know what it is? It is an appropriation from the Irish skirt they wear. It's what they tried to, indigenize it with the African fabric in their own way. So it was not even full African. Okay? This came to the critique used by Afropolitans like Achilles Mbembe, who argues that what is even organically African? So you can use it to critique what even the Zambians later appropriated with the Irish skirt that they have sort of tried to imbibe with their own African fabric. But that notwithstanding, the ideals of Pan-Africanism, anti-colonial struggle, Kenneth Kaunda learned a lot from Nkrumah and sent it back home to the Zambia.
Let's end with Guinea and Mali. There was talk of Ghana, Guinea, Mali union. Was it possible for Nkrumah to start that union because he inspired the leaders of those countries too?
Thank you very much. But before we go there, as we said, we have the Zimbabwe. Apart from Joshua Nkomo, there was also Mugabe, as we all know, who came to teach, learn here, and then went back. So for Zimbabwe alone, there were 2 people who had opportunity of studying. And this is shown in their nationalism struggle, the contestation between Nkomo and Mugabe, which is still like what we are also fighting here in Ghana between the old nationalists and Nkrumah's supporters. So that is also at play back home in Zimbabwe. So in Ghana, Guinea, Mali Union, it was an attempt by Nkrumah to show off his idea of Pan-Africanism and continental unity. This was the first experiment he tried to do to show how African countries can mobilize their resources and come together in terms of supporting each other where they are economically weak, where they are in terms of ideological expressions can be passed on, principles of Pan-Africanism and so on can be passed on. And as a result, this can then have a spiral effect of affecting other African countries who will be interested in that continental unity. So for me, the Ghana Guinea Mali Union was something that Nkrumah used to show other countries that Africans are capable of joining together irrespective of their countries and the language, their culture, and so on. It doesn't matter. The idea of we being African should be paramount, and that should be what you unite us, not borders, not language, not the way we dress, and so on. So at the end of the day, to end it, that Nkrumahist idea, we saw it in the formation of the Organization of African Unity, which today we called the OAU. And then Nkrumah did not end there. He also went to Congo. He was trying what the issue that happened in Congo and so on. So Nkrumah, as an African personality, tried to exemplify what he spoke about, that it was not a mere rhetoric, but he was able to walk his talk.
We've been talking to Kweku Dankwa, a historian, on the history of this continent, looking at the role of Ghana in making the African personality and also shaping certain key personalities. Thanks for watching today's episode and for listening. We'll be with you next time. Bye-bye.
So Timbuktu, Ghana, Mali, Sumanguru, you know what they're shown. Machetaki, no Sumanguru, you know what they're what you're shown.
Thank you so much for doing the listening. And just before we go, imagine waking up to serenity every day, surrounded by nature's beauty, luxury at your fingertips, in a gated estate you can be proud to call your home. Welcome to Western Villas, located at Ayi Mensa, where our stunning homes redefine elegance. We have swimming pools, gym, playground, beautiful landscape gardens, and private balconies, making every day feel like a retreat. So reserve Western Villas. We have 3 or 4 bedroom luxury gated homes at Ayi Mensa with just 5% deposit between now and the end of this month. You can get up to 2 free service plots today. And we have limited executive plots for sale at Katamanso and Topoli at attractive prices. 0536 50 22 95 is the number to call. WesternVillas.com is where to visit. Here's some good news. If you are a shareholder of Societe Generale Ghana, your dividends are now being paid directly to your bank account or Momo. Dividend payments are no longer being made using dividend warrants. All shareholders are therefore respectfully required to update their records with the registrar NTHC Limited with the following information: your bank details, email address, and mobile phone numbers, including mobile phone numbers registered with Momo. For Societe Generale Ghana shareholders with a Central Securities Depository account, contact your stockbroker and update your records with your bank details and all other important information. Societe Generale Ghana is committed to providing you sound financial solutions always. Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you. What if your bank helped you big up? Welcome to the Republic Verse, where your money, your business, and your dreams level up. Own your dream home with Republic Bank mortgages. Grow faster with SME and corporate banking solutions. Run your daily finances smoothly with retail and commercial banking products. Build wealth with investments and trust management, and pay anywhere, anytime with Republic Verse Visa credit or debit cards. 0800 414 414 is the number to call. On WhatsApp 0546 414 414. Republic Verse, we are the one. Republic Bank, we are the one for you. Let's go to the World Cup, shall we? Let's engage in business activities while we enjoy global football. Who to take us there? Litina Travel and Tours. Find us at Alisa Hotel Northridge. Call us 0244 260 789. They've got everything you need to make your journey smooth to and from. And if you're looking for best of flavor in every sip while at it, discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. We have Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, and Piva Tangy. So grab yours today. 0550-032-231. Find us at a local store near you. Piva Taste, a taste you. Piva Beverages, a taste you will absolutely love. And Jonathan Syme is a living proof that insurance can naturally reward you. He's the first raffle winner of the Insure Naturally promo. Jonathan simply insured his car, and now he's packing his bags for an ultimate football experience abroad, live at the stadium. So talk to us, Enterprise Insurance, and stand a chance to win big. A sponsored ultimate football experience, fuel coupons, airtime, and branded souvenirs. We're doing this from now to the end of May this year. It's a promo we are running on the NLA's Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Enterprise Insurance is your advantage. Sheba Arba Benning is here. My name is Caleb. Someone spent the weekend in the salon. So which style is this one?
This is a crochet.
Acha. Crochet. Good morning.
Good morning, Caleb. Coming up in the bulletin, Chamber of Oil Marketing Company